weekend has officially begun. Step right up and head on inside Coors Field. The Rockies will play a three-game set beginning this evening against their old rivals. They met them in the playoffs a couple of times, the Philadelphia Phillies. And good evening, everybody. Along with my partner, George Frazier, I'm Drew Goodman. Obviously, the last 24 hours has been very difficult for the Colorado Rockies, namely when it comes to injuries. Yesterday, 3 of their big horses go down. Fortunately, only one of them has a significant injury, but it's a big one. Troy Tulowitzki will be out 4 to 6 weeks with a broken rib.
Well, it's huge. I mean, again, Troy Tulowitzki, and you look and see what he's been able to do. And yesterday, he had a ball right back up the middle. He's going to dive for this baseball. And you see how he slammed? I mean, that cracked a rib. And again, you know, when you think about this, it's worse than an oblique. I mean, you can't swing the bat, you can't throw, you can't do anything. I mean, it's very difficult with Tulowitzki. Now, you look at the numbers. I mean, they tell you everything. You're 30 games under 500 when he's not in the lineup. You're 12 games over 500. The Rockies' win percentage, the runs per games, everything's up when he's in the lineup. And what really bothers me, and I feel so bad for Troy, is the fact that this guy's getting ready to have, and is having, a Hall of Fame type year. I mean, it was an unbelievable year. He was putting up on a board with average, home runs, RBIs, defense. Everything about his game was Hall of Fame caliber, and that's going to be difficult to replace.
It's an MVP type season. He will be back. It's not a situation as it was last year where he's basically lost for the season. Walt Weiss addressed that very issue prior to the start of the game.
You know, we're not going to make up that type of production regardless of who plays, but we can play as a team and win games. There's no doubt in my mind we can still win games and you know, be a factor in this race throughout the season. And hopefully, when we get Tulo back, it'd be almost like making a trade for an all-star type player down the stretch to win a pennant.
And Walt makes a great point. It has to be a collective thing in replacing him. Josh Rutledge called back to the big leagues. Won't play short tonight, by the way. Johnny Herrera will. Josh will be in the lineup at second base. He's got a ton of ability. We saw it last year.
Well, a ton of ability, and he took it to the Springs and did that. He swung the bat very well there. He hit a lot of doubles, hit home runs, and he's a very good defensive player. He can steal a base. He can go first to third. There's a lot of things Josh needed to do. Most importantly, when he went to AAA, he needed to learn how to have fun again. Get the pressure off your back. Just go be Josh, and don't worry about trying to replace or be somebody that you're not. And I think at the Springs, when I saw him play there, it looked like that's exactly what he was doing.
And he will, as I said, be in the lineup leading off tonight because Dexter Fowler won't go. Carlos Gonzalez, who didn't play yesterday after he was hit by that foul ball in the bottom of the first inning, is in the starting lineup. So obviously that's great news. When we come back, we'll take a closer look at the 2013 Philadelphia Phillies. Rockies lost the last two against the Nationals. They come into the weekend at 35 and 32. Back upstairs with George Frazier. I'm Drew Goodman on a pretty Colorado evening. Well, the Philadelphia Phillies, amazingly, George, have struggled to score runs this year.
Shocking. With that lineup that they've had there, they've had some injuries. Obviously, Utley's out of 9th in average, 5th in home runs. They play in a bandbox. 12th in, you look at the runs scored, and that really shocks me. Pitching-wise, they've got a very good starting pitching. I think they have a very good closer, but it's getting to that closer. That's been a problem. 451 earned run average among the relief staff. That's a big number when you're trying to use that middle reliever and then go on to the setup guy, and it's been hard.
Well, for years, you always talked about the Utleys and the Ryan Howards, the Jimmy Rollins. They have a new star on the block. That kid, he's a big kid, Dominic Brown.
He is a big kid, and he hits the ball very, very far. I think that's the one thing people got to be impressed with this young player. He's come from 209 to hit where he is right now. It's been an impressive ride for him, and right now they're riding the back of him.
Yeah, somebody has to remind him, I guess Babe Ruth died a while ago, because since May 1st on, he's made his best Babe Ruth impression. More on his numbers as the game unfolds. We are set for baseball. It's the Rockies. It's the Phillies. Come on back to 20th and Blake with us. Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by your 7 neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota, let's go places. By King Soopers, more value for the way you live. And by Southwest Airlines, find our fares online only at southwest.com. Gorgeous early evening as Juan Nicasio will take the mound for the Rockies. The Rockies on this homestand so far 3-4. They split a 4-game set with San Diego and then dropped 2 of 3 against the Nationals. Ben Revere, the former Minnesota Twin, will lead things off for Philadelphia. And here's the rest of Charlie Manuel's lineup, brought to you by Southwest.com. Michael Young, the longtime Texas Ranger, who was very close to becoming a Rocky, will play third base. He'll bat second. Last 5 games, he's swinging it well. Then big Dominic Brown leading the National League in home runs with 19. Ryan Howard's power number's way off. He has just 7 jacks. Kevin Franson will bat 5th, the former Giant. John Mayberry. Freddie Galvis in there for Jimmy Rollins tonight at shortstop. And it's Humberto Quintera behind the plate with Kyle Hendrick on the hill. And Juan Nicasio in his last outing, George, 5 1/3 of perfect baseball.
Well, you'd like to build off of that, obviously. The record 4-2 and earned run average at 481 right now. And so for Nicasio, let me correct that, 461. .461 earned run average with a whip of 1.33. The walks have been an issue at times, 25. But more importantly for me is once he settles into a game, things change. In his first 15 pitches of a ball game, the opposition's hit 323. After that, 271. So it's gotten much better. And containing a ball game has gotten much better. With runners in scoring position, they've hit just 232 against Nicasio.
That's a good number. Here's what's on the menu for Juan Nicasio tonight. Brought to you by McDonald's. Quench your thirst at McDonald's, where any size soft drink or sweet tea is just $1. I'm loving it. Georgie?
Now, the fastball, you're going to see it majority of the time, and it's going to be at 92 plus miles an hour. Can touch 96 at times. The slider, a work in progress, along with that changeup. But he does throw it, 18.6%. With fastball command, if he has it down in the strike zone, look out, Philadelphia. It could be exciting.
Well, the Rockies are trying to snap a 5-game losing streak against the Phils. And if you go back to 2008, the year or the season really after the Rockies eliminated Philadelphia in the postseason, they swept them. The Phils are 26-6 against the Rockies in the regular season, and the Phils took the Rockies out in 4 games of the 09 postseason.
Well, they've had the Rockies number, there's no question.
Here's the 1-0, and that's high on the diminutive Ben Revere. He started slowly in the month of April, but he's really come on. He's hit .316 since May 1st.
Well, he'll steal a base. 15 stolen bases, been caught 4 times.
84 degrees is our first pitch temperature. And it's a 3-0 count out of the gate for Nicasio. And that's in there, 3-1. Mike Malinsky's the home plate umpire. Wally Bell at first, Marvin Hudson at second, Tim McClelland is at third. And that's on the corner, 3-2. And the payoff pitch hit on the ground to second, and Josh Rutledge has it 1 out. Let's take a look at Charlie Manuel and his staff. Of course, Charlie's been around seemingly forever. He's a wonderful guy to visit with and talk baseball. He's very candid. He'll tell you exactly what the state of the state is, if you will, with his club. Rich Dubie's his longtime pitching coach. Steve Henderson, Wally Joyner handle the hitting. Juan Samuel at first. Ryan Sandberg's come over. He's now been elevated from the minor leagues. He's coaching third. Rob Nichols and Nick Billmeyer is the catching coach and kind of his bench coach as well. Nick used to be out in the bullpen.
He was in the bullpen and then came in to work in the bench for Charlie. I think, you know, with Sandberg coming over, he in the Cub organization, just like a player, had worked himself from rookie ball all the way to AA, AAA, and then Ryan wanted the opportunity to manage the Chicago Cubs. It didn't happen, and that's when he left the organization, came over here to the Phillies, worked a year at the AAA level for them.
1-1 the count on Michael Young. And that pitch misses. 37-year-old veteran who's 3 hits shy of 1,000, or excuse me, 3 RBIs shy, I should say. Shy of 1,000 in his career. There's only 18 players with 1,000 RBIs that are active right now, and one of them's playing first base for the Rockies. That man, he blew past 1,000 several years ago. 2-2 on Young, who's hitting his last 5. And did he go? Or was it a called strike, or neither? I guess neither. And they finally check it out at first, and if there's that long a delay, George, you know it's always going to be the safe call.
Typically, yeah, it'll go to the batter's way instead of the pitcher's way. But I thought the pitch was pretty good pitch to be called a strike, let alone not checking to see if he swung or not.
Ring him up. That's a strike. On the outside corner at 94. And Michael Young conversing for a moment with Mike Malinsky. 2 outs. The Rockies defense is brought to you by Excel Energy. We bring you the energy you need so you can live the life you want. Visit responsiblebynature.com to learn more. Cargo, Tyler Colvin in center for Dexter Fowler is going to be down for a couple of days, it looks like. Michael Kadires at right, Arenado, Herrera at short, Rutledge at second. And Helton at first with Torrealba doing the catching. Now the plan going forward for the Rockies at shortstop, it'll almost be replace Tulowitzki by committee. I mean, you'll see Rutledge there. You can see LeMahieu there. You're seeing Johnny Herrera tonight.
LeMahieu is playing shortstop strictly at AAA before being called up. Johnny, of course, super utility man, and when it comes to the infield. Rutledge had stayed at second, didn't make an error down there. He made 4 here in 40 ball games. Did not make an error in 17 games in AAA. You talked about Brown and his resurgence with the long ball, Drew. It's pretty amazing. From 2010 to 12, he only hit 12 home runs. He's got 19 right now and 256 at bats. Well, he had nearly 500 prior to that.
Well, how about this, George? He hit only 3 in April. He has 16 since May 1st. 2-2 count on Dominic Brown. And Nicasio with a great changeup. I mean, that was a beauty. And an impressive start for Nicasio. Kind of picking up where he left off in his last outing. 2 punch-outs in a 1-2-3. Maybe it was a slider. Josh Rutledge will lead things off for the Rockies as they try to get after a guy they're familiar with in Kyle Kendrick. Numbers for Rutledge before he was sent out. He was down there a couple of weeks. George touched on this in the open. He put together great 2 weeks of offensive baseball, double digits and doubles in just 2 weeks. He'll be followed by Johnny Herrera. Cargo bat third. Michael Kadire most frequently will slide up and bat cleanup and protect Cargo. Todd Helton will bat fifth tonight. Nolan Arenado, Tyler Colvin, Torrealba, and Nicasio. So here we go. First pitch of the ball game is a fastball at 87, and that's kind of where Kendrick works, George. 87, 89.
You looked it up today, and I did too. Average 89, but he doesn't get there very often. Most of the time, he's going to live in that 87, 88. Try to cut it, sink it. He'll throw a changeup with it. Rutledge spanks one dead center field. That ball carried a lot about the last 10, 12 feet. Let's take a look at Kyle Kendrick's numbers on the season. Overall, 6-4 record, 86 2/3, 82 hits given up. He's given up on the year also this year. 8 home runs so far. An earned run average of 3.22. Very good. The whip's good. Walks, strikeouts. He likes to put the ball in play. And I found it interesting because he normally sinks his fastball. But he doesn't get that many ground balls, only 39% ground balls when he's on the mound. Let's take a look at the pitch selection that he will use. Fastball 57% of the time. Likes the changeup, occasional cutter and slider, but the number 2 pitch to get someone out is the changeup.
Outside on Johnny, 1-1. Johnny's 10 for 24, 417 average in the month of June.
And that's in tight, 2-1. And a bouncing ball to second. Kevin Franson will throw out Herrera. Here's the Phillies defensively. It's brought to you by Excel Energy. Make the choices that fit your life, and Excel will provide you the energy to power it. Visit responsiblebynature.com to learn more. Ben Revere's in the outfield. Dominic Brown is getting better in the outfield. John Mayberry in right field, pretty good outfielder. Michael Young, Freddie Galvis, Kevin Franson, Ryan Howard in the infield, and Humberto Quintera is behind the plate. Carlos Ruiz has a hamstring injury and is on the disabled list. Chase Utley has an oblique injury. He's with the club right now. He's going to go out Sunday on a rehab assignment. Here's Cargo. And Cargo drives this ball to center field, and Revere's not going to catch it. Nobody will, unless you're in the stands. 1-0 Colorado on Cargo's 19th home run of the year. Boy, was that ever struck.
Well, one thing about having a hurt ankle, when you hit it 430 feet, you don't have to run very hard. You can kind of limp your way around the bases. There wasn't any limping there. A lot of drive on that 19th home run. Taking a look, first pitch offering right on that outside part of the plate. It's going to run, and as it starts to run, it runs right into the power zone of Carlos Gonzalez. See his bat, you really saw it well there on the Mike Shell Subaru Supermill. When that ball flew out of here, it got out in a hurry. It was a line drive.
Well, with that home run, he just tied Dominic Brown for the National League lead in homers. You can't hit a ball any harder than that.
Just frozen rope, dead center field. Hang the laundry. It'll get dry by tomorrow.
And this ball toward the gap in right center field. It's going to be cut off by Mayberry. And the Rockies are done as Michael Kadires retired. But Cargo gets the crowd out of their chairs early with a long home run to dead central. This ball was flat smoked. Field again, pointing to his wristband with his close friend's number on it. It's one of Tulo's wristbands. I think that's kind of cool. Let's get our sideline report brought to you by the Honey Smoked Fish Company. Secrets in the Fire. It's ready-to-eat superfood. Here's Jenny Cavnar. Jenny.
Hey, Drew. It's a Friday, so we know what that means. It's Fan Friday. You all know the drill by now. You send us your tweets about Rockies, Major League Baseball, and we'll answer your questions throughout the course of the broadcast. We're already getting some good tweets coming in, so hopefully we'll get to those a little bit later in this inning. And George, just so you know, I'm going to give you a weather report quick because you like that. The wind is blowing in that direction. based on my hair.
But not very hard.
Not very hard, but it was. If you would have come to me last inning.
Wait. It's blowing on the right side of your head, so it's only coming from that area?
This side?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you come back, it'll be like this.
Okay.
Actually, Jenny, don't touch anything right now. You know what George would normally say? The wind's blowing straight down.
The wind's blowing straight down.
Oh, yes. There you go. Well, thanks.
1 ball, 1 strike on Ryan Howard.
It's funny how you say that and you get every play-by-play guy. They immediately look at the flag. You looked.
First I look at you.
No, you looked right out to the flag.
And I give.
You did. You looked right out there.
I know this will catch you by surprise. I give you that quizzical look.
Never, not you. Never.
2 balls and a strike on Ryan Howard. 7 home runs for the big first baseman for Philadelphia. The Rockies have a shift on, 3 on the right side, and that's off the plate.
From understanding of talking to a lot of people with the Philadelphia Phillies, that back knee on Howard has given him fits this year. Not being able to load to the backside and drive like he normally would. Swinging and pitches out of the strike zone. So, I mean, with that situation there, he takes a walk. That is the 3rd 3-ball count after 4 batters in the ball game.
That'll bring up Kevin Frandsen. This is how depleted Philadelphia's lineup is without Utley and Carlos Ruiz. Kevin Fransen's more typically going to hit 7th or 8th for you, and he's hitting 5th tonight in the prime RBI spot.
2 home runs, 8 RBIs. I mean, they have had struggles offensively, no question.
340 lifetime hitter against the Rockies. And that hit him. And now you've created a jam. 2 on, nobody out.
Let's look on the slow-mo, Mike Shaw Subaru slow-mo. You're going to see this pitch come by. I don't know if it nicked him in the flesh or part of the uniform, but he tries to jump back. Just got that arm guard that a lot of guys wear on that left elbow. Philadelphia in all of baseball is 22nd with a .241 average with runners in scoring position.
John Mayberry will step in. He's hitting .339 his last 19 games.
Dangerous bat. Likes to take the ball into right center field.
He takes a strike. They have some large men on their team. I mean, Ryan Howard tilts the field. John Mayberry's 6'6". Dominic Brown's enormous. They almost look like a basketball team when they emerge from the dugout.
Long arms. Anytime you get a tall guy like Mayberry up there, what you want to try to do is make sure Mayberry doesn't extend those arms. Like that, jamming.
Jammed him, and unfortunately Helton can't get there.
Yeah, it didn't hang long enough up in the air for Todd to be able to make a move on it, playing behind the runner at first.
Mayberry went to Stanford. He is the son of Big John Mayberry, Kansas City Royal guy you competed against, George.
Yeah, played with actually. He was with the New York Yankees at one time. Big John. Right at the tail end of his career in '82, he came over. And then there was a guy named Mattingly that came up that was pretty good.
Yeah. Don got suspended today by Major League Baseball, along with a bunch of other guys, for that fracas earlier in the week with the Diamondbacks. Ian Kennedy got 10 games, the most of anybody. Just missed on the inside corner. Eric Hinsky off the bench for Arizona got 5 games. J.P. Howell got a couple of games. Skip Schumacher a couple of games. Ronald Belisario got a game. We got some wallets also. 1-2. That's the kind of foul ball we had yesterday that hit Carlos Gonzalez in the on-deck circle. You always have to be careful when you're on that open side. And quite honestly, and I was talking to Cargo about this earlier, George, I'm surprised it doesn't happen more frequently.
Well, I'm very surprised because guys cheat in so they can get a better look at everything. You know, they want to see that opposing pitcher. So they cheat in a little bit so that you get some of those ricochets back that way. I mean, you can look right now. Look right now, and you sit here and look at the Philadelphia guys. Mayberry's hitting. And look how close the on-deck circle hitter is. The on-deck hitter is standing not on the circle, but in very close behind. Now, if you had a left-handed hitter up, he might move. You know, he may get a little farther away from it. But that's very close when you start to look at the comparison of, you know, that's a pretty easy way to time things, I can tell you that.
That bother you, George,
yes.
when you were pitching?
Yes.
2 on, nobody out. 1-2 on Mayberry. And he won't chase up, and it's 2-2. Looking for a ground ball. And now he runs it full on John Mayberry.
As a pitching coach, you would say running away from your arm. And basically what's happened is that front side's getting ahead. And Jimmy's already yelled out 3 different times to slow down the front side and stay on line longer. And I was watching down there in the dugout, and he's kind of yelling at Torrey Alba to tell him to keep the front shoulder closed. And unfortunately right now it's just, you know, game gets a little fast. You get fast as a pitcher.
And that's pulled foul. He went slider on 3-2.
And a lot of times, Drew, you go to the breaking ball, the changeup, to get your hand and arm back into the arm slot, because you're not going to throw a good one without it. So subconsciously you just start thinking about release point, and then it drops right back to the fastball again.
Here's the 3-2 once again, and he strikes him out. So Nicasio wins that lengthy battle. 1 out in the second.
A lot of foul balls. And then finally, after a slider that was hung and he pulled it in the seats, he went back and attacked with the old number 1. Threw it right by him. Not a strike, but a location of where, with runners in scoring position, Mayberry couldn't lay off of it.
So the backup shortstop, Freddie Galvis, will come up. Just 12 for his last 79 at the plate, a 152 average. It's like the Rockies' Johnny Herrera, switch hitter who can play everywhere. He plays a little bit in the outfield now. Second, short, third. He has never played at Coors Field.
Well, he explained it. We could hear it.
Yeah, ball outside. I like when umpires do that. Did you appreciate it as a pitcher, George?
Well, yeah. I mean, most of the time when you missed, if you missed a little bit like that, they're going to yell stuff at you. I mean, not at you, but let you know what the pitch is. You appreciate that.
Yeah,
I
just
mean, you
down.
like that. A lot of times umpires would tap the chest. I missed it. You know, then you can appreciate that as a pitcher too. You know, the next time you go there, you're going to get it. A lot of pitches being thrown right now. 35, more importantly, 18 balls, 17 strikes. That's, you know, it's not typical of Nicasio. He's typically a strike thrower his whole career in the minor leagues.
Pulled foul past Juan Samuel. Got a couple guys on the coaching lines at first and third that could play a little bit. Samuel and Ryan Sandberg. Two and two.
Do that hard sinker, which he does at about 91 miles an hour, trying to get him to roll over, get a double play, and get in that dugout.
Two and two on Galvis, a native of Venezuela. And now it's another deep count, 3-2. The Phillies yesterday, they won in Minnesota at Target Field 3-2. What made that game notable was that they had 16 hits in the game. It's only the 10th time since 1900 that a team produced 16 or more hits and 3 runs or less, and it's only the second time that teams ever won doing that. The other team, the 54 Phillies, swung on and missed, and Nicasio brings the second out of the inning by striking out Freddie Galvis.
Another look at the pitch from out of Nicasio's hand. Outstanding changeup at 83.
One exhales, and now not out of the woods yet. He's got to deal with veteran catcher Humberto Quintera. Back and forth between AAA Lehigh Valley and the Phils this year. In the air to deep center field. Colvin going back, still going back, and he will get there. Nice play, Tyler Colvin. So the first to reach in the second for the Phils. But Nicasio gets the next 3. Rockies have a 1-0 lead. Middle of inning number 2 at Coors Field. Rockies up 1-0. They'll have Todd Helton leading off in the second. Where will you find your 3 numbers? Text Pick 3 to 720-720 for your chance to win great prizes from Root Sports and the Colorado Lottery. During this evening's ball game, we'll randomly pick one winner, and don't forget to visit a Colorado Lottery retailer to play Pick 3. The new game from the Colorado Lottery, where 3 lucky numbers are all you need to win. So Helton, Arenado, and Colvin, and it's a great night to be in the rock pile. They always have a little more fun in the rock pile, George. You notice that?
Yeah, they do. Have you ever sat out there for a game?
Well, I'm always sitting here with you.
No, there's days when there's like a day game like yesterday. I went out there one time.
I haven't been up in the rock pile in a long time.
One time. That's a long walk, I'll just say that.
There's a base hit for Helton off the end of the bat. Well, we have our first Fan Friday question with Jenny Kavnar. Jenny?
Yeah, guys, let's get this one. I love the name. @AlwaysRocktober. That's a great Twitter handle. They asked the biggest surprise of the Rockies season so far. So my biggest surprise is going to be Nolan Arenado. You know, we saw this guy at spring training. We've seen what he's able to do. But as you guys know, the plays that he's been able to make in the field so far this season, very impressive. So that's my biggest surprise. What about you guys?
You know the way I'm going to answer that? I'm going to answer that as the biggest surprise, Jenny, is yet to come.
Well, you know how I'm going to answer that? Where'd Jenny go? Did she leave?
No.
She's still out there?
We got to put her on camera again.
How I'm going to answer that? The biggest surprise for me, and it's not really a surprise, this club playing at 35 and 32 as a 25-man roster after losing 98 games a year ago, and everybody wrote them off and said they're not going to be any good. They're not going to play good baseball. They can't. And here they are, 2.5 games out of first under Walt Weiss. That was a nice surprise for me to see this team play the way they're playing.
I think any time, and you're right, George, and I think any time when you have a successful season, there are going to be a couple of things that occur. They may be individual or, you know, a rotation that people didn't think a lot of, that collectively do a much better job than anybody thought. And that's what leads you to having success. And that's why I answered that I believe something really positive down the road is going to happen that may be not on somebody's radar. Maybe somebody stepping forward, really giving the Rockies a boost. And we're going to see right now, because they're going to be challenged the next 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks, in the absence of Troy Tulowitzki. 1 out, Todd at first base. Tyler Colvin at the plate. This is Tyler's 6th ball game since getting back to the big leagues, and he's got an RBI in 4 of the first 5. Here's the West beginning play today. Arizona 8 games north of 500, and then the Giants and Rockies tied at second. Look at San Diego, George. They're just 2 under 500.
Well, be careful. I mean, they've got everybody back now. They're starting to pitch a little bit better. The bullpen's still struggling at times, but still, they're a club that got Headley back, Grandal's back to swinging the bats.
That's off the plate. It's 3-1 on Colvin. And normally in this situation, you got 3-2 pitch, the runner take off. Maybe, but not Todd.
No, you're not going to run yourself to strike out, throw out. You're not going to run, you know, and again, it doesn't mean you can't start him to stay out of the double play. But more than likely, Walt won't do that.
Outfield shaded ever so slightly toward left center with Ben Revere in the middle. The Rockies on the next road trip, Toronto, Washington, and Boston. I wonder if Tyler's granddad will make it up from the Carolinas.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Up to D.C. Tyler very close with his granddad.
By the way, Roy Oswalt so far in Arkansas, 4 innings, 4 hits, no runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts. This is the last start before he can opt out of his contract with the Rockies and become a free agent. Pitching well again tonight.
And that bounces up there, so Colvin walks. That'll push Todd to second. 2 on for Yorvi Torrealba with 1 out. Who wants tacos? Remember, when the Rockies score 7 or more during any ball game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 and get your Rockies taco special. First walk allowed by Kendrick. A 3-2 win yesterday for the Phils. We were discussing all the hits, all the guys that left on. Cliff Lee got the win. He's got 8 victories now.
Right guy at the plate right now. Torrealba 6 for 15, 400 with runners in scoring position.
And he's been swinging the bat well. Get more PT the last 2.5 weeks.
Well, the thing about it is he's getting that playing time. That's what PT is at home, folks. I'll help you out there a little bit. That playing time's coming. And for Torrealba, that allows him not to get wore down. You know, when you're catching every single day, it's a difficult task. And I think his ability to have a couple of days on and then 3 or 4 off, couple of days on, it only gets better.
He's 9 for his last 23. Played for a trio of teams last year. Began the year with Texas, on to Toronto, and then Milwaukee. That's way outside. Ball 1 on Yorvi. His dad Diego been in town. That's a strike, 1-1. Deep in the hole, Galvis bobbles, won't get anybody anywhere, and the bases are loaded.
Tyler Colvin's lucky.
Got to slide there.
You have to slide. I mean, there's no reason not to slide. I mean, there's no way. You look at this here. He's going to slide over, stop the ball. You got plenty of time now, but when he had to go back to grab it, Colvin got into the bag there. But see, you want to stop the completion of the double play ball also. So by going in and standing up right on top of the bag, he does get a little bit into the throw, but I would prefer to see a slide there. Base hit, Torrealba.
You got Juan Nicasio at the plate with the bases loaded. If you had better speed at third, you'd really be curious about a bunt, but you have Helton at third. They still bring their corners in. Got to step inside, even with the bat. It's honestly where, and Juan will handle the bat okay. And it's back up the middle, a base hit. That's handled at the back. Colvin around third. He's coming home. Revere's throw offline. Throw to second, out at second. Torrealba caught off the bat, but Juan Nicasio makes it 3-0. First 2 RBIs of the year for Nicasio.
And I looked at this ball. I think that Kendrick thought his shortstop was going to make a play on it. You'll see on the Mike Shaw Subaru Super Mode. When this ball's hit right back at him, it's 2 hops, and then watch. He's almost like he looks at it and he just lets it go, thinking the shortstop would be there. And he wasn't there. He'll be here for this one to end the inning, but the Rockies get a couple.
So Juan Nicasio helping his own cause, a 2-run single. And the Rockies have a 3-0 advantage as we go to the third.
Friday night. The Rockies have a 3-0 lead on the Phillies as we head to the top of the third. Here's the deal, fans. You know it by now. Send in your questions at @RootSports_RM. We'll answer some live on the show. Let's get to Casey. Casey asked, is the Root logo painted in the fountains, or is it a TV graphic that comes up with the shot? Well, let's show you what Casey is talking about. In the fountains right here, you'll notice no logo. And all of a sudden, a little TV magic, and like that, snap of the finger, the logo appears. So I'm going to have to just go ahead and say it's our main man, Jared, in the TV trucks, pulling his TV magic. And it's also very windy out here at center field now all of a sudden. I want to do a new nice
I wanted to see the whole
weather
thing
update.
now. Yep,
Well, my papers, which you can't see, just flew everywhere, and we have a great production crew, so they're picking them up over here for me. It is pretty windy out here. Nice little bursts and gusts today.
Jenny, you know what I'm going to do for you because I love you?
What? What's that, Drew?
I'm going to send out my brush with one of the runners. So
you don't even own a brush, Drew. I know you don't. What are you brushing?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Never mind.
Are you brushing George's hair? Are you
Occasionally.
you have a hat on.
Occasionally he does, yeah. It does. When one of the gray ones gets out of line.
Yeah. Here, I'll get that for you.
George, I love this cap.
Yeah,
you got
I love
that
it
today.
too. It was a great time today. Deborah Ray, who had given me this hat one day in the stands, she graduated as a nurse, and said, you know, I'd really like for you to go to the Veterans Hospital with me. So today, Becky Motion from the office, and myself went out, and so for 2 hours, about 2.5 hours, we served coffee and we visited and talked with a lot of the veterans there. And before I left today, they gave me a Navy hat, so I got my hat of the day, and very proud of it. Maggie, I'm wearing the hat. It's a young gentleman went down and bought this, brought it up to me, and said, I want you to wear this hat on air tonight.
And I know very important to you. Your late brother served.
Yes, my father served in World War II. My brother 3 terms in Vietnam, and very, very important to me. And kind of gives you a chance to put things in perspective when you go there. And I had a wonderful time.
You know what I like? If we get another shot real quick, George, I want to take this off because that's really cool.
Yeah, isn't that nice?
Yeah.
And Debbie, who was great, she's actually served in the Navy for 6 and in the Marines. So yeah, she doubled up. She went 11 years. They ended up giving us this, so we were really proud of her. And we had a great time sitting and visiting with everybody. Today was Flag Day, so even a little more importance there. And I spent a lot of time with them.
It was kind of military day also because a number of Rockies were at Buckley Air Force Base today.
Right.
Jim Kellogg had a
group of guys
go on out and visit with
many
of our men and women serving.
I don't think you can say thank you enough. You cannot serve our country. It was absolutely wonderful and very enlightening for me to be there.
This is a big Baltimore chop. Arenado coming hard. Oh my goodness. His hands are like vacuums. That's not an easy play. Kyle Kendrick thinking I'm going to get an infield hit here. And Arenado had to run about 25 yards just to get to the baseball.
Yeah, I mean, when this plane hits home plate, I'm thinking, you know what? There's no chance anybody's going to get this. And Kendrick's busting it. He's getting after it. And that hop was a perfect hop for Arenado. But watch how he positions his body turning sideways so he's got momentum to get behind the baseball and then be able to get Kendrick. Great play.
Conservatively, would you say he's taken away since he's come up close to 10 hits?
Well, it's close. I mean, that's conservative. Think of all the dives that he's taken over. I think in Chicago when he dove out completely in foul territory, he comes up with the ball, fires the guy out at first base. The ball's in the middle that he's taken and relieves some of the pressure off Troy of what he has to cover in the gap.
It's an easier play. Juan will go Eddie Boehner style for the second out to retire Revere. Let's look at this play again by Nolan Arenado.
All about reaction. Saw the ball hit, comes flying in, grabs the baseball, and you see fans at home are going, how do you do that? You practice it. And you practice it a lot. And you've got to have some God-given ability, and he's got that.
The 2 great plays he made when the Rockies lost the 9-3 lead, got tied up. It would have trailed. They eventually won that game 10-9 last week. And Arenado made 2 fabulous plays on a couple of rockets.
I want to see what happens here. You remember the last time.
This ball's hit a ton by Michael Young. Off the wall, Cargo's got it, and Young into second with a double.
Young was barking at the home plate umpire last time up. I was going to see how far this would go and see if he would remember a little bit of that conversation Michael Young had, but he hit it to the deepest part of the ballpark before anything could happen. High heater, 92 miles an hour, belt high. Rodriguez takes it into one, as I said, the deepest part of the ballpark, left center field for a double, a 2-out double.
Six-game hitting streak now from Michael Young. 2 outs and Dominic Brown at the plate. And Brown hits it in the air to Cargo and left. Routine play. Cargo's got it. And that's all for the Phils in the third. Rockies have all the runs. 3-0. Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the all-new Ford Escape, the smarter way to get there. Ford Escape, go further. By Southwest Airlines, find our fares online only at southwest.com. By CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by the Honey Smoked Fish Company, secrets in the fire, it's a ready-to-eat superfood. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, Jenny Cavnar on Friday night at the ballpark. Rockies leading 3-0. Johnny Herrera batting in the 2-hole tonight. Johnny bounced to second his first time. And it's 1-1 on Herrera. He's got his childhood buddy on deck in Carlos Gonzalez. 28-year-old Kyle Kendrick on the hill. And a check swing comebacker. Take a look at our Coors Light Cold Hard Fact. Well, it's Flag Day today. I didn't know that until I got to the ballpark. The first Flag Day observance was June the 14th, 1885. A 19-year-old teacher placed a 10-inch 38-star flag and a bottle on his desk, then assigned essays on the flag. In 1949, President Harry Truman designated June the 14th as Flag Day. And now you know the rest of the story. Ball one inside on Cargo. You know, naturally, George, I think the inclination for people is to say, okay, you know, Cargo's got to take on an even heavier burden offensively. And I think almost the opposite. I mean, he pulls more than his share anyhow, and that's going to be another base hit for Cargo. But George, one of the lessons that I think Jason Giambi passed along to these young talented hitters while he was here, so often we'd see him come up in the 9th inning, the game on the line as a pinch hitter, and if you didn't throw him a strike, he'd pass the baton to the next guy. And Cargo last year in the second half really pressed. He'd tell you, without Tulowitzki, he hit .261. He tried to do more than was humanly possible.
Well, there wasn't a lot of protection around him, so he was trying to carry the whole ball club. Wasn't necessary. Wasn't necessary, and it's not necessary now either. With Kadire 100% healthy, Helton is swinging the bat much better. Arenado, the youngster, Wallin was get back on track. I mean, this is a very good baseball team, but still going to score runs.
Outside on Michael, 1-0. Cargo was 1 for 9 against Kendrick coming in. He's 2 for 2, including that line shot home run in the first inning. Rockies have out hit the Phils 5-1. They're up 3-0. And Kadire hits this ball well to center field. Revere going back, still going back. And he'll make the catch right at the track. Trying to combine those two words, George, and it didn't work out.
I've been with you long enough to know I knew what you were talking about. For a great deal, be sure to ask about the Rockies Sweet 6-pack with savings of up to 25% off for the regular price. So do that. 303 Rockies or Rockies.com to find out more information. 6-pack.
This isn't a bad running situation right now for Cargo, who's perfect on the year, 12 of 12. Helton with 2 outs. At the plate, Todd singled to right his first time. The one issue that may mitigate the possibility that Cargo runs is the fact that he was hit on that ankle yesterday and had x-rays. He's gotten caught once. Let me correct that. He's 12 of 13. Cargo's a great player, George. He's also a tough kid because there's been a couple times this year where he's had to leave games, the knee, the ankle yesterday, and you think, oh, it's going to be a couple of days. It's on the ground a second. And next day, he's back in the lineup.
Yeah, I'd like, when we come back, I want to comment a little bit more on that. I have something I want to add to what Drew's talking about Cargo and toughness.
Rockies up 3-0. It's brought to you by Connect for Health Colorado. You know, the big news of the day is that Troy Tulowitzki, as you probably heard late yesterday, a broken rib on his right side diving for a ball in yesterday's 5-4 loss to Washington. He's expected to be gone for 4 to 6 weeks. Was placed on the DL officially today. Josh Rutledge called back to the big leagues. He was having an MVP season, 347, 16 home runs, 51 driven in for Tula. As Walt Weiss said, when the Rockies get him back, they're going to get back one of the best players in the game right during the pennant race. And Cargo in left field, George, got hit on the ankle. He's in there today, and you wanted to comment further on that.
Well, I think here's the deal. You know, I played with a lot of great players. Kirby Puckett was one similar to Gonzalez, Hall of Fame player. When you sign a long-term contract, a lot of guys will go one way, buy the fancy cars, the big houses, and all those things, and don't play all the time. Then you have them go the other way where they feel obligated not only to their teammates, but to the fans, that they don't want to hear some guy on a talk show go, oh, yeah, Gonzalez got nicked, took 2 weeks off. You know, they want to continue to show people they're worthy of what they're being paid to play the game and be worthy of that. And Cargo's right in that category. He's one of those guys that people pay to watch to come into a ballpark, home and road. A lot of people will ask me, man, this Gonzalez guy, he's pretty special, huh? When we're out on the road at different hotels, places, you walk into ballparks, fans that I've known for a long time in San Diego, Cincinnati, I said, wait till you see him play. He is some kind of player, boys. This guy's fun to watch.
And he has fun doing it. He has fun doing it. And I know Tulowitzki's been criticized at times over the last couple of years because he's gotten injured. There's nobody that wants to play more than Troy Tulowitzki. And it gets to the point where you get angered when you hear that kind of stuff.
Well,
he's not a guy that wants to sit on the sidelines. He's one of the most competitive people I've ever met in the sport.
The thing about Troy is it's the way he plays the game. He plays extremely hard. And, you know, that ball's into the hole whether he thinks he can get there or not, or ball's up the middle, he doesn't know whether he can get there or not. He's going to dive to try to get there. That's the only way he knows how to play the game.
And also, if people saw what we're privy to in the clubhouse 4 or 5 hours before the game, what he has to do, talking about Tulowitzki, to get himself ready to play the game, the stretching exercises he does.
Everything. He's not, you know, there wasn't going to be a muscle strain that got him down. I'll tell you what, he's going to have to break a bone, and that's exactly what happened to him. Because he wasn't, I mean, this guy takes great care of the body, eats right.
1-2 on Kevin Franson. And let's go out in center field as that's fouled to Jenny Kavanagh's got a little more on Cargo's injury.
Yeah, just to add to your guys' conversation, very great points that you're making, especially with what George was saying. But when I was talking to Cargo today, he almost feels an obligation that he wanted to be out there and wanted to be in this lineup, especially knowing that the Rockies were not only missing Troy Tulowitzki, but today that they were missing Dexter Fowler. For Cargo, he knew you couldn't have all three of those bats out of a lineup, and he's played, as you mentioned, Drew, more than once this year, not 100%, knowing that his teammates need him. And it's not about a Cargo thing. It's not about they need my bat in the lineup, they need my name, they need my defense. But for him, he feels like if he's not out there, he's not being a team player. So I feel like it's a very similar situation to what George was saying. The only thing that was going to keep Tulo down this year was a broken bone. I think we're looking at the same situation for a Cargo.
Yeah, you're right. That's a base hit to right. Kevin Franson with one out as a board. You know, Cargo reminds me a little bit with Todd Helton. Todd, there are many years he's playing through, you know, back issues, playing through hip issues, and it wasn't until recently that anybody ever knew. He wouldn't tell anybody.
Todd's not going to say a word to anybody.
Right? And Cargo, you know, did you know about the knee situation since spring training with Cargo?
No.
That he had been back? I didn't know that.
No.
And we're here every day.
Yep.
He's got tendonitis in his knee, which anybody who's ever had it can be very.
Oh, I've had
You've
it.
had
It's
it.
very, very uncomfortable
painful
to have.
John Mayberry at the plate. He struck out in a lengthy battle with Juan Nicasio in the second. Juan's doing a good job moving the ball in and out. And that's toward right center field. Kadire is going to have to play it off the wall. Franson's going to get a green light. And the throw to the plate is there, but a good slide by Franson, and he scores the Phillies' first run. An RBI double from John Mayberry. It's 3-1. Great relay. Kadire to Rutledge to Torrealba.
When you want to see where this ball's going, it's going into right center. So you position yourself as a player to be the short guy coming off of that wall. Kadire's going to get it, get rid of it, and a perfect throw, and then the throw to Torrealba. He went out and didn't let the ball short hop him. He caught it and then came back to try to get him. Home plate umpire, perfect position. He's got the ball stretching. Looks like he just got by Torrealba and got that hand on the plate. One more look. See right there? See how he got by, and then he just barely nicked home plate. He just got the point of the plate.
You got to look at that again. Did he touch home plate?
Yeah, I just thought he nicked the point at the very backside of home plate.
This is a blooper, and it'll be Arenado cutting in front of Herrera, and then Johnny veered off to cover third base. 2 outs. Let's slow this down. I don't know if we'll be able to tell on this angle.
Right there.
Well, yeah, that's a tough angle to tell. Let's see this angle. Slow. Okay, you can't tell on that one either.
Yeah, see right there with a hand. Right there on the backside. I think that's the only place he got it. It was close though, but obviously great position by the home plate umpire to make the call. Didn't change. Still 3-1.
Go after Quintero, even though first base is open with 2 outs.
Flew out to deep center on a fastball last time up.
If he misses here, they may walk him. We'll see. You know, if you're going to nibble like George, I'm a big one. Unless you're Greg Maddux, go ahead and walk him.
If you're not going to get after it, go ahead. You're just wasting strong bullets when you could soft toss your way into putting him at first base. 2 outs and go after Kendrick.
Two outs, Mayberry at second. And they give up a base hit. Kadire up with the baseball. Mayberry around third will score. Michael couldn't come up with it cleanly, and that's my point. If you're in a 2-run game in the 4th inning.
And it's a two-way street here. Yes, it's in the 4th inning. You're thinking in your mind, the guy's hitting 214 with 3 RBIs. I feel my pitcher can get him. If he gets him out, we got the pitcher leading off the next inning, and I think that's why they did it. Kadire fielded the ball cleanly, but when he tried to make the exchange from the glove up to the hand, the ball just shot out of the glove and away from Kadire. So
be tough to get him though. And Mayberry runs well underway, and there's 2 outs. So as soon as the ball was contacted, Mayberry was off. So now it's a 3-2 game. Kyle Kendrick at the plate. Center field, Colvin coming on. He's got it. 2 runs on 3 hits in the inning for Philadelphia, and they tighten things up at Coors Field. back. Let's go to the bottom of the first inning. Carlos Gonzalez, 2 outs, nobody on. Got a low fastball and he punished it dead center field. Home run there, number 19 for Cargo. In the second inning, the Rockies would add on. Juan Nicasio with the bases loaded, bounced one up the middle. Elton would score, followed by Tyler Colvin, who had walked. But then the double by Mayberry would bring home the first run of the game for Philadelphia. And then on a slider away on a 2-0 pitch, Quintero swatted it into right field for an RBI single. Nolan Arenado in the bottom of the fourth will lead it off. Cooney Lexus, where luxury has a new address, now open in Greenwood Village. I think with the absence of Tulowitzki, it will further test an offense that's been very good this year. It's been the top offense in the National League. George, to bunch hits together and not just sit back and wait for Cargo or Tulo or Kadire to hit a 3-run shot.
Right, and I think that's where the rest of this offense with Nolan Arenado, Todd Helton, Tyler Colvin, and what he's done since coming up are all positive things. But I mean, Kadire was as hot as anybody in baseball before he had the little short stint, and he came back hot.
Arenado hits a fly ball to right, playable for Mayberry. Rockies fans, text Toyota followed by your question to 720-720. Watch as we answer those questions in the fifth inning tonight.
Update on the Oswalt start. He had 9 ground ball outs, 2 fly ball outs in 6 innings, 4 hits, 5 strikeouts. He's lowered his earned run average to 2.32 there at the Texas League. They lead that ball game 2-0. They split yesterday. And by splitting, they stayed in first place, and they're leading Arkansas right now 2-0. The other ball club that's in contention in that is the Springfield Ball Club, the Cardinal Ball Club, loaded again with pitching and fielding, and they're tied 2-2 through the fifth.
One and one on Colvin. And that's a fair ball. And Colvin's going to reach.
Only because Kendrick never left the mound.
Now Howard had no option. He knocked it down. And when he picked it up, he's looked into first base. The only guy he could throw it to is Colvin.
Yeah, and you know what? I like what Colvin does too, because he hustles all the way through this thing. Once he looks up, I mean, I think Kendrick thought it was a foul ball, then recognized fair at the very end. Watch when the ball's hit. He's standing and watching. Colvin has obviously a very good angle on it, and so he is able to run up the line and be able to beat it out.
George, you're taught as soon as it goes to the right side as a pitcher, you break
as fast as you can, particularly with a hitter hitting on the left side. Base hit for Colvin, by the way. With a hitter on that left side, they're already got a couple of strides ahead of him.
Torrealba had an infield hit his first time up. Colvin got a huge jump.
A lot of times as a hitter,
run.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, that whole right side opened up. Torrealba unable to get it there. Hitting the road, subscribe to ML.TV every Rockies out of market game. Online and on your favorite devices in HD quality when you're not at home. So make sure you do that. The MLB.TV to see the ball games when you're not at the house. Rockies.com to explain a little bit more about it.
Torrey Alba hits it in the air to deep left center field. This one's tracking toward the seats. It'll bounce right in front of the wall. Colvin with those long strides around third. No throw to the plate. It's a run-scoring double from Yorvi Torrey Alba. And the Rockies get a marker back. It's 4-2.
Bottom of the lineup producing tonight after the base hit by Helton, the walk by Colvin, and the base hit by Nicasio drove in two. And now in the bottom third of this lineup, Colvin with a one-out infield single, then the double by Torrey Alba. The Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo gave him a fastball to hit, and hit it indeed he did. Dead center field, and left center field. A couple of balls been hit to that deepest part, Drew. They haven't got out of this ballpark. Colvin ran the bases perfectly. He knows that deep into the park, if they catch it, he can retract and get back to the first. Instead, he's able to use that speed to get to home.
Boy, he cut the bag at third perfectly. You saw Stu Cole wind in his arm. Good job of base running by Tyler Colvin. Yorvi Torrey Alba, man, stay hot, huh?
Just keep doing it. Men in scoring position has been phenomenal.
This is slowly hit to third. And Nicasio's out. Josh Rutledge will have an RBI opportunity with 2 outs. Torrey Alba 11 for his last 25 at the plate. Back the last few years, what's been the common denominator, or one of the common denominators, when the Rockies have success and go to the postseason? Yorvi Torrey Alba's around.
Yeah, you look around to see who's going to be on your ball club, you know, and who do you think's can help you be winners, not just on the field, but in the locker room with leadership. He was one of those guys that was a big leader on this ball club.
0-1 on Rutledge, a fly ball to pretty deep center field, and a fielder's choice ground ball to short. Rockies up 4-2, 7 hits against Kyle Kendrick. Comes in with a 6-4 record. Pretty good ERA too, 3.22. I'll tell you a story about Kendrick. He's 28. Kendrick was born in Texas, went to high school in the state of Washington. He was an outstanding high school quarterback. Wazoo, Washington State, offered him a full ride to play quarterback for them in Pullman. This ball is well struck, right center field. Going back is Mayberry. See you later. 2-run home run, Josh Rutledge. Welcome back, Crimson Tide. Six to 2.
For Rutledge, his 6th home run of the year. And when he's hitting well, it's to right field. That'll put a smile on your face. You get a call after the ball game, coming to the big leagues, come here early this morning, and then have an opportunity to drive in a couple of runs with a bomb to right. Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo slider. See it spinning? Not much movement. Means he got off to the side of the ball, and Rutledge made him pay for it.
Ball and a strike on Johnny. There's a pretty view of that ball leaving the yard. And Johnny pulls it to Ryan Howard, who puts his glove out to Kendrick, and he gets to the bag. 3 runs in the 4th inning for the Rockies. An RBI double from Torrey Alba, a 2-run home run from Josh Rutledge. And the Rockies out front as we go to the 5th by a score of 6-2.
The home run column, he adds a 2-run homer in the bottom of the 4th as we welcome you back to Coors Field for a Fan Friday. The win, well, I've just had to succumb to it with this nice little Root Sports hat here. It's a Fan Friday. You can send us your tweets at RootSports_RM. I'm going to get to Ted's. We're going to share a comment right now. Ted wanted to say, watching the Rocks from northern Colorado Springs, and hats off to all those fighting the Black Forest Fire. Hats off to all of our firefighters and first responders across the state of Colorado. We thank you so much for all that you do. And of course, our thoughts and prayers are with all of those that are affected by all the wildfires going on in Colorado right now. Drew, George?
Well, no question. It's been a difficult week for so many folks throughout our state, and we wish all those folks affected all the best, and the men and women fighting those fires, as you said, Jenny, all the best. Ben Revere leading off in the 5th inning for Philadelphia. A ground ball to second and a comebacker. He's 0 for 2. Arenado throws out Revere. 1 out. It's our Toyota Talk innings. Let's take a look at our first question of the night. How important is it to have multiple position players on the team? Hugo in Boulder. Guys with versatility, I think, are very important, George.
They're huge. I mean, you look at Jordan Pacheco, first, third, left if he has to. Behind the plate, Johnny Herrera, first, second, third. I mean, he can play anywhere. He can go to left field in an emergency. So, yeah, I mean, you got Torey Alba that played first base yesterday. Not that you want him to do it on a regular basis, but he can. So, yeah, that versatility is huge.
And Johnny's been trying to break in an outfielder's glove for about 5 months now. It's not ready, so he's been borrowing gloves when he's had to go to the outfield.
And right now, the Rockies bench just shot out to right. And now will get there.
Michael Young retired.
The idea of having Pacheco on your ball club allows you to use Torey Alba because you got a third catcher, or Rosario as a pinch hitter in this game when it's on the line, because you have a third catcher. And there's only a 4-person bench right now, so that can make it difficult to manage and pick your spots when you're going to go to one of those 3 guys, Rosario, LeMahieu, or Pacheco. Fowler, the left-handed bat on the bench, a switch hitter.
Dominic Brown hit that a long way, but it was also a long way foul.
Not many people get anything up in the Mountain Ranch Club from foul balls.
George, which manager or coach had the biggest influence on your career?
You know, professionally, that's a tough question. Probably Jerry Walker with the New York Yankees, 1981. Who's now assistant GM in Cincinnati. And of course, through college and high school and all those things, it was Dick Birmingham, who's in the High School Baseball Hall of Fame. Very good.
Very good inning for Juan Nicasio. Top of the order, set down in order in the 5th by Nicasio. 6-2 Colorado, 8 pitches. presented by Mako, the company that repairs all kinds of hits. Carlos Gonzalez with a home run to left to give the Rockies a 5-2 lead against Washington a few nights ago. Check out your local Mako for collision repairs and auto painting for as low as $349. Visit Mako.com today. Here's Cargo. He's 2 for 2, a home run to dead center field and a base hit to right. Cargo's tortured the Phillies in his career, 351 average coming in. And that does not include the 10 for 17 in the 2009 postseason. He hit 588.
I always cracks me up when I hear guys say he's really tortured the Philadelphia Phillies. This guy's tortured everybody.
Right?
You know, it's not like it's been one guy. It's been everybody.
Yeah, he gets them all, doesn't he?
You know, when they say the pitchers go, I got you in my book, he's got a lot of pitchers in his book.
Todd Helton, another guy that you say the same thing about.
Oh, yeah.
He's gotten the Phillies to the tune of a 360 average. Rockies up 6-2. Here's the 2-1 to Cargo. 3-1. In the last 6 games, in particular against Philadelphia, he's 13 for 25. That's a place with him, George. You always talk about going in. You want to be careful when you go in on a power hitter from the left side. Drop the barrel on it. When he gets pitches out over the plate, sometimes off the plate, he can hit them out to any part of the ballpark.
Oh, yeah, no question about it. I'm real skeptical of guys going in. You better go in above the hands, because anytime you pronate, that ball's going to run back over the middle of the plate. They tried to go in, they walked.
Well, leadoff walk for Gonzalez here in the 5th. That's the second walk allowed by Kendrick. Michael Kadire coming up. We thank you for texting in your questions. Last half inning during Toyota Talk. For more answers to your questions, you know the drill. Visit the Root Sports Facebook page at facebook.com/RootSportsRM.
Take
Our
your
Hall
hat
of
off.
Famer Tracy Ringlesby will
Take
be
your hat
standing
off
by.
and say hi. Take your hat off. Say hi. Yes, he's not going to. He has no producer up there helping him through it tonight.
He's lost.
Him and Jeff, either one.
Outside on Cuddy. Fly ball to right center field. And a drive to deep center that Revere ran down. Kadire returned to the starting lineup yesterday and had a double. Two and 0. Michael with an 11-game hitting streak. Hitting .338 against righties, .333 against lefties. And he's got a 12-game hitting streak, and he sacrificed the bat for it. First 2 have reached here in the 5th, and that'll bring up Helton.
Well, it's nice when you carry a bat off in parts and you come away with a base hit. That's a backup slider. Right off the end of the bat. Everything's going to shatter. All you got left is a little bit of a handle sitting in your hand.
A 12-game hitting streak also for Cuddy, the longest produced by a Rockies player this year. Todd's 1 for 2. This ball's driven to center field. Revere going back. Cargo will tag. And it's first and third with 1 out. It's a great illustration of what you do in that situation for 2 different base runners, George. Nobody out. The runner at second is going to tag. The runner at first is going to run almost to the bag because he was hit so deep in case it gets over his head. Ball dropped. And then he's in position to get at least 2 bases.
Good job of base running all the way around.
So when that ball was caught, literally Kadire and Cargo were almost standing next to each other on the second base bat.
ran perfectly by both of those guys. And Kadire, you can expect to be fundamentally sound in a lot of ways. One out. Arenado has driven the ball deep to center field. He'll base hit here to left.
And he drives in the Rockies' 7th run. The magic number 7. It's 7-2 for Nolan Arenado, his 16th RBI. And we got tacos tomorrow.
Now tonight was the taco giveaway, taco shirt giveaway. We want tacos with the number 7, and you got them.
Who wants tacos? Fans, the Rockies have scored 7 runs. Don't forget to go to your participating Taco Bell locations tomorrow between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special. Feed your Rockies fever only at Taco Bell. Charlie Manuel marches out and takes the baseball from Kyle Kendrick. Rockies up 7-2. See a left-hander Horst when we come back. Philadelphia trying to level the slate at 4-4 on this 10-game homestand. Tonight's pitching change is brought to you by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local Dodge dealer today. With 1 out and 2 aboard in the 5th, it'll be Jeremy Horst to take over. The Phillies carry 3 left-handers in a beleaguered bullpen.
3 earned runs in an inning and a third on the trip so far. He's only pitched 2/3 of an inning at Coors Field. And that's all he's ever pitched against the Rockies, home and road. So made that appearance a year ago. He appeared in 32 ball games. Came over from Cincinnati in a trade in January. Got up last year with the Phillies. The previous year with Cincinnati.
Colvin takes a strike. Tyler a walk and a run scored in the 2nd. An infield hit and a run scored last inning. This pen has the highest ERA along with the Mets in the National League. On the left field line, Dominic Brown hoping for a play, and he makes a good effort but will not have a play. You know, I noticed the Cardinals, Frazier, on there, and in their situation it doesn't much matter because their starters have been going so deep.
They have been, unbelievably. I mean, this club right now, they're 20 games over 500 going into today. They lost to Miami 5-4. Yet, what a great ball club. Top to bottom, they're going to get everybody back in a rotation with Westbrook, so it's going to be status quo here shortly.
Oh, 2 on Tyler. Boy, he was on that pitch. The slider sitting in the middle of the zone saying, hit me. 7 runs, 10 hits for the Rockies. Again, they've lost 5 straight to the Phils. 26 of 32 to Philadelphia since the start of 2008.
Quintero acted as if he was going to try to pick behind Kadire at second, dropped the baseball.
It's hard to throw a guy out on a back pick if you don't have the rock in your hand. It's out of play.
Come out and celebrate Independence Day with the Rockies. That's right after the Rockies-Dodgers game on July 4th. Stay for the best fireworks show in town, courtesy of Coca-Cola and King Soopers. So don't miss out. Get your tickets now at the Dodgers in town. July 4th, there will be some fireworks. 303 Rockies, Rockies.com/fireworks for tickets. All of that is courtesy of Coca-Cola King Soopers.
Colvin beat. Oh, I thought he beat the throw.
Wow, I did too. Holy cow. Really, Wally?
In the inning, the Rockies get another run on the RBI single from Nolan Arenado.
And they lead 7-2 as we go to the 6th inning. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. By the Courtyard by Marriott, Western Elegance in the cultural heart of the city. By Connect for Health Colorado, when health insurance plans compete, there's only one winner, you. And by Jeep. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. We always show this shot on Friday, and then typically somebody's so kind enough to deliver us some, and then Jenny gets upset. It's really become our pattern on Friday.
Where have I been every Friday? I haven't got any of that on Friday. Doug, you got any? You have. You have gotten some of that every Friday. Drew must beg better than me.
We'll teach you the tricks of the trade, George. Ryan Howard will lead off here in the 6th inning. AT&T trivia question. Since Ryan Howard's big league debut back in 2004, only 2 players have more home runs than his 307. And who might they be? Cuts inside, 2-1. Howard's another guy like Michael Young closing in on a grand in terms of RBIs. He's 48 ribbies shy of that number. He's from your home state, George. He's a Missouri kid.
Yes, he is. He went up in St. Louis area and he went down and played at Missouri State University for Keith Gutt.
In your hometown.
Yeah, Ross Detweiler, who started yesterday's game for Washington, also from Missouri State, a #1 draft pick. They've had a few. Apparently off the plate, but not by much.
80 pitches in for Nicasio as he works here in the 6th inning. 3-2 on Howard. And that's ball 4.
And the hump of getting over this 6th inning. Many times Nicasio has worked into this 6th, but not able to get through the 6th. Disappointed with that walk to Howard, and Jimmy Wright's going to have a quick conversation with him on the mound.
Is some of this maybe remind him it's a 3-2 pitch, you're up by 5 runs. If he hits it into the 3rd deck, it's 7-3. Challenge him.
That's exactly right. Go right at somebody, and if he does hit it, you're giving up 1. But if you work yourself into multiple situation, you're out of the ball game. So go ahead and just fight right through it. Go right at the hitters and work through this inning.
Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. Kevin Franson hit by a pitch and a single. And Franson lines it to left, another base hit. And now you have 2 on and nobody out. John Mayberry, an RBI double in the 4th inning, will come up. Slider down low.
Rob Scahill, the right-hander, getting up down in the bullpen for the Rockies in a 7-2 ball game right now. It's just don't want this thing to get carried away. Mabry with a big hit earlier in the ball game and a double to drive in a run. So, yeah, just don't want to get caught like that.
It's in there, 1-1.
Mentioned at the start of this ball game, Nicasio with runners in scoring position, a .232 average against. So obviously very good.
High fly ball to Colvin in center.
Mentioned at .232, the opposition 1 for 7 now. After the soft fly ball to center.
Tyler played some center field. He's played center field in the big leagues. He's played some center field in Colorado Springs. Primarily was playing right field for Glenn Allen Hill. But he's plenty comfortable out there. Most guys that play all 3 outfield spots will tell you it's most desirable to play center in terms of getting reads off the bat. This ball's tagged to right center field. I don't know if anybody's going to catch this one. Freddie Galvis is going to drive in 2, and Galvis on his way to 3rd with a triple. And it's 7-4.
tell you one other thing about this part. When this ball's hit, Franson gets a little better read than Howard does, because he almost caught Ryan Howard at home plate. Ball drops right out in between. Look how close they are. I mean, they're not more than about 2 strides away from each other. Franson actually trying to catch Howard. They're kind of laughing a little bit at each other here. Came around to score. Well, no laughing matter now. 7-4 with a runner at third and 1 out.
Well, you go back again, George, the free pass to Ryan Howard.
2 of them he's gotten tonight.
That just kills you at Coors Field. You can't, I mean, yeah, it kills you in a lot of ballparks, but you can't allow teams to produce a big inning and participate in that big inning by putting people on, especially with a big lead. Now the game's tightened up a great deal. Infield's back. It's 1-1. Lance Nix out in the on-deck circle to hit the pitcher spot.
7 for 28 with 2 home runs and 5 RBIs as a pinch hitter.
I think also, George, when you talk about weathering this period of time without Tulowitzki, the Rockies 2.5 back, to hold serve or even to move up, it has to be a joint thing, and we always seem to focus on the offense. But I think, you need the rotation a step forward.
Everybody's got to stay healthy and do their job.
A step forward.
Yeah, no question.
And it may not always be good enough at the end of the game for Walt to say, well, he pitched well enough, to keep us in it. There are going to be some times where you're going to have to put up a bunch of zeros. That's going to get the run home. And now you're talking about a whole new ball game. It was 7-2 and it's 7-5 now. Phils, in fact, when they score 4+ runs, have won 18 of 21. Delman Young now is going to pinch hit instead of Lance Nix with 2 outs and nobody on. Auto glass damage, call Safelite Auto Glass at 303-287-5000 or go to safelite.com. Two and one. Base hit for Delman Young.
Well, you're almost getting close because of pitch count and result that you're forcing the hand of Walt Weiss.
But he's got a short bench. Dexter's really not available, so you have 3. And if Walt does go out there and make a move, pitcher spot's due up second next inning. You want to, you're not going to double switch it. So again, Ocasio runs out of gas in the 6th inning.
2 guys warming up, Outman and Scahill. They bring Outman in.
You got Revere, so makes sense to bring in the left-hander Outman. Things have tightened up quite a bit. 7-5 Rockies in the 6th. for Rockies Real Time. With the 3rd overall pick in this year's Big League Draft, the Rockies scouting department welcomes you into their war room as they select the next group of Rockies, one of the biggest drafts in franchise history. It's Rockies Real Time tonight after the game, right here on Root Sports. And that's neat. We were afforded full access, and I'm looking forward to checking that out. It's going to be a lot of fun. A glimpse of what happens on draft day. It's Rockies Real Time after the ball game. Strike one out into Ben Revere. Revere has hit it on the ground 3 times. He's 0 for 3. This kicks away off the foot of Torrealba, and Young goes into scoring position on a wild pitch.
Now coming out of the hand of Josh Outman, let's see where it ends up. I mean, it skipped right out in front of home plate. Torrealba not trying to block, but backhand hit the shin guard and ricocheted away from it.
Ball toward the hole, Helt, and now Outman gets beat to the bag by Revere, and it's 1st and 3rd with 2 outs. And you have to give Revere a hit. Todd made a good play. He had to drop step to field this topspin hop. See if Outman got a good jump.
Falls off third base side. He does. I mean, he left as soon as the ball was hit to the right side. That's just a bunch of speed. Got there and beat him. I mean, Helton does a nice job getting to the baseball, and the feed is perfect to Outman. Just speed beats speed to what it amounted to.
Michael Young at the plate, strikeout, double, and a fly ball to fairly deep right field. Delman Young, who pinch hits at 3rd. Ben Revere at 1st. Revere has 15 stolen bases. He represents the tying run. Michael Young's got a whole lot of hits in his career. No movement. It's a strike. 1-1.
Torrealba on the year has thrown out 29.4% of would-be base steals. He's been very good in that department.
And Young hits a ground ball to 2nd. Rutledge will flip to Herrera. And the Rockies are out of the inning, but not before 3 runs come around for Charlie Manuel's Phillies. 7-5 Colorado.
photographer. Crash, we welcome you back to Coors Field. Of course, it is a Fan Friday here, and send your questions to us at @RootSports_RM. That's where you send them. Let's get to one right now. A lot of questions coming in today about Roy Oswalt, who is pitching for AA Tulsa. So they want to know, what's the word with Oswalt? Well, we'll show you. He just came out of the game. 8 1/3 innings pitched. He had 102 pitches. Right now, Tulsa has the lead 2-0. So coming into the game, he was 2-2. He hopes to improve that record to 3-2. And George, as we throw it back to you, as the date gets closer and closer to his decision-making time, how important was tonight's start when you look at those numbers?
Well, very important. And Roy's coming back to this deal. And, you know, you look at those overall numbers tonight, outstanding. When I visited with him last week and interviewed him for the pregame show here, he's excited about the opportunity to put on a Rockies uniform. It feels like he, you know, I asked him in that interview, why? He said, because I got a great passion and desire to win again and to put on a winning uniform. Well, Michael Stutes will come into the ballgame for the Philadelphia Phillies. 10 1/3. How about this, Drew? Retired 15 right-handed batters in a row to start his season this year. Earned run average of 1.69. A whip of 1.03. This ball game got closer. Charlie will go to that other side of the bullpen now, trying to keep things tight.
Now, Michael Stutes facing Yorvi Torrealba here. And to advance what George is talking about, overall, right, he's hitting just 130 against him this season.
Josh Outman is out to swing the bat. Even with that short bench Drew talked about, that is one thing. It's very true, but also the Rockies have a very full bullpen right now.
But coming up next inning, you have Brown and Howard, 2 lefties, so you want to keep Outman in there. Two and two. Yorvi, a booming double to drive in a run in the 4th inning. Off the plate, 3-2. Yorvi has an interesting story to his first name. His mother wanted to name him Yorman. His dad wanted the name Victor. And so they compromised. Yorvi.
Just say that again.
Mom wanted to name him Yorman, Y-O-R-M-A-N. Dad wanted to name him Victor. They compromised.
You're Victor.
A leadoff walk for Yorman Victor for Yorvi. Josh Outman will try to sacrifice Yorvi to second.
And there is certain guys in the bullpen that they allowed to hit during the season. And Outman a year ago, a starter, plus when he went to the minor leagues, who would swing the bat when playing against National League teams. He has 1 career hit and 0 career sacrifices, I'm being told by Doug Marino, the old hippie. I used to call you the young hippie when we started. That's a long time ago.
comes a big run potentially for the Rockies. They're trying to build here after the leadoff walk to Yorvi. And Outman gets a pretty good bunt down. They're going to go to second and get the force out. Wow. I thought it was good enough that the Rockies would get the runner moved up. And did Yorvi pull a hamstring? Or did he clip a foot?
Scotty Garrett watching him come off the field pretty gingerly here. Let's watch and see. Ball's down. He's going as hard as he can with his head down. I didn't really see anything there. Probably will here if there is. Maybe an ankle sliding in there. He reached down, grabbed the side of it.
And that's what you hope it is. Hamstrings take forever. Those two guys are very close. We're sitting down next to each other. Assistant trainer Scotty Garrett, Yorvi Torrealba. So Outman's at first. And here's Rutledge, who hit a 2-run home run in the 4th. Maybe he rolled it going into the bag. Sure, tough to tell. There you don't really see a roll. And Rutledge in the air to center field. Revere waiting. And that's 2 outs. Let's go out to center field again. Jenny Cavnar. Jenny.
Well, with Johnny Herrera coming up to bat, we've been getting a lot of questions about something he does in the batter's box. So we'll take this one from Matt. He said, could you explain to us why Johnny Herrera draws the line in the batter's box? So you'll see him do it. My understanding is that it's to get his body positioning correct and lined up where he likes it. But I'll send it back to Drew and George for more comments. And I'm sure after the first pitch he takes, he'll draw that line in the dirt as he does.
I have to ask him specifically. I always assumed in watching him do that this year that it was a reminder not to overstride. And you mark it and you can check where his foot came down and make sure he doesn't go beyond that. But I'll have to ask him to get he does it after every pitch. Johnny hits one in the air to right field. And John Mayberry makes the catch. So the Rockies are done in the 6th. We move to the 7th. Colorado 7 and the Phillies 5. Chance to win tickets to Rascal Flatts with special guest the band Perry on July 25th at Cheyenne Frontier Days. You'll also be entered to win a slew of other prizes: baseball packages, hotel transportation to backstage passes as well. For official rules and to enter, visit cfdrodeo.com/rascalflats. Dominic Brown, Ryan Howard, Kevin Franson, 3, 4, and 5 for Philadelphia here in the 7th inning. Josh Outman, who got the final out for Juan Nicasio on the 6th, will continue on. Nicasio's line, 5 2/3, 5 runs, 7 hits, a couple walks, 4 punch-outs, and a hit batter.
It appears Wilton Lopez is the right-hander warming up down in the Rockies bullpen. Talked more about the box situation yesterday with him, but they had Scahill up to start of the 6th inning. Now they've gone to Wilton Lopez. Josh Outman here to get these top 2 hitters, Brown and then Howard.
Dominic Brown was the 20th round selection of the Phils in the June 2006 draft. He fell down in the draft because he was a tremendous wide receiver in the state of Georgia and was going to go play college football at the University of Miami. Would have been a pretty big target, huh?
Big target. Michael Irvin type target. Went to the University of Miami. I watched them come in and play the University of Tulsa one time. I was like, wow. This is like a pro team coming in here. They were ginormous.
This is pulled toward the hole, and it's a base hit for Brown. So Brown aboard for Ryan Howard. He was walked twice, 0 for 1 otherwise. AT&T trivia question. Since Ryan Howard made his big league debut on September the 1st, 2004, only 2 players have hit more than his 307 home runs. Can you name them? Pujols and Adam Dunn.
Dunn struggled average-wise, but he's gotten hot again this year.
The only other guy with 300 home runs, Miguel Cabrera, right at 300. David Ortiz would be next on that list. He's had 293 home runs since September the 1st, 2004. 1-0 on Howard. Kind of feel like, George, he's been tardy at times, getting the barrel out in front.
You know, when talking to a lot of personnel at their club, that left knee, the back knee for him to sit back, rock, and push and do things with, it becomes a hand swing. You become pull happy. When he's at his best, he's taking things to the offensive field, and that swing there appeared to be a dead pull swing, spun out on the heel. It's a down and in fastball, inner half from Josh Outman. But you can see, I mean, missed the pitch by quite a bit. That's not the Ryan Howard you're used to watching.
Well, he's having trouble catching up. Don't slow it down. They don't, and it's in the dirt. Howard can't move up, but the runner at first can, Dominic Brown. So it's a strikeout. It's actually a slider that was spiked, to be accurate.
Chased it, didn't see it well out of the hand. Ball was way out front. I think Brown was moving on the pitch. It's Torrealba coming out of the crouch to throw the baseball to second base. It didn't stay in the glove, so it gets all the way to the backstop. Now Walt Weiss will make that switch. Josh Outman does his job.
One out, man in scoring position when we come back.
in the top of the 7th. But Wilton Lopez is coming in relief, and that brings us to another Fan Friday question. We're going to take this one from Ernie. He said, is there any reason why the Rockies can't protest yesterday's game with the double balk call? The umps need to be accountable. So with that, we'll throw it back to George and Drew to go over what happened in yesterday's game.
Well, first of all, you can't argue a balk. You can't argue balls and strikes. So there's no reason to appeal it. And what it was, Lopez started his delivery, stopped. 2 umpires caught it. And it's kind of the same thing again. See where he started there? See how his hand started to come forward? There's some hesitation in between both of those. And then right after that, Jimmy Wright got tossed.
You know,
but you cannot start any part of your body and then stop it.
There's gray area with any balk, because to me, did it affect the base runners? Did it deceive the base runners, which to me is poorly written, honestly?
Well, that's part of that on deceiving the runner is how you position yourself on the mound to throw to first to pick them off. You can't start your body and then stop your body and then get your sign and go on and continue. You can't do that. If you're acting as if you're going into that set position and then stop halfway through it, they're going to call a balk on you every time.
So you thought both balks were legit?
I thought they were. From watching what I saw on the screen, I didn't see them live yesterday, but you watch the one start to move forward and stop in the middle of it. You just can't do it.
Inside move to bluff. Dominic Brown back to second.
The other thing on the balk call, these umpires know who you are. Wilton's been in the league for a long time. You know, like with Betancourt, how he comes set, a little bit of the Louis Tiante with the little stop, hesitation, and then comes set before he goes to home plate. They know how Betancourt sets up, so they don't call it.
Well, one of the comments after the game from the umpires was he did it 3 times. We only called it twice. Well, if you start doing it a number of times, then you can say, well, that's part of your delivery, though.
Well, but shame on you for not calling the other one. If you're going to call 2, call 3.
I mean, you're not supposed to remove your hand from your glove unless it's part of your delivery. There's been some Far Eastern pitchers that was part of their delivery. I mean, so the first time they see him, they call it a balk?
Well, they pull the ball out with it, though, at the same time. When they start that delivery, they go ahead, they take the ball out of the glove. And they tap. A lot of guys tap. You know, they'll pick the glove up and the leg at the same time and tap.
Trying to stay back on the rubber.
Stay back, a little different grip if they're in a split or they want to go to a split. That tap will jam it in. I mean, a lot of different reasons guys do it. I don't like it, but a lot of different guys do it. I like the hand to be set in the glove where it just can fall out and throw the baseball. You know, tapping and hooking and doing a lot of different things. Just one opinion, though. Whatever works, you never know what works for another guy. You know.
2-1 on Kevin France and hit by a pitch and a couple of singles, couple of runs scored. Should be a relatively easy play, though. Colvin had to move back farther than he thought. The wind carried that ball. Jensen flies out to fairly deep center field, and Brown moves to third with 2 outs, and that'll bring up John Mayberry.
Has the wind changed direction out there at all, Jen? Do you have a little stronger wind? Are you still in center field?
Yeah, we're definitely just going through different gusts right now. I took the hat off. I had to put a hat on earlier because my hair was blowing everywhere. But same direction. It'll just come for about 15, 20 seconds. One's kind of building right now. And then it'll die down, come calm. And then about a minute later, I'm feeling it build up again.
Did you get my brush I sent you?
You know, I haven't yet. That was very kind of you to think of me, though.
The perfect weather person.
I know, right?
You're doing good.
Like I said, give me a green screen. I'm ready to go.
All right, here's John Mayberry. He takes a fastball on the inside corner for a strike at 90. He's 1 for 3, an RBI double to right center back in the 4th inning. Phil 16-20 out on the road. Last year they went 81-81. That snapped a run of 9 straight years where they were above 500. Picking off NL East titles seemingly every year.
Their competition obviously got a lot stronger with the injuries they had suffered with position and also with their pitching staff. And Atlanta playing great baseball. The Washington Nationals playing terrific baseball.
1-1. Bounce or foul. I think the other thing, this is from afar, but when you talk to people who are close to the Phillies, they'll acknowledge, George, they've gotten a little long in the tooth.
Well, that's what happens to you. I mean, when players hit that kind of wall where they start to get a little bit older, they can go one of two ways. They can kind of level off and not hit 30 home runs, but hit 20 and drive in instead of 100, they drive in 75. Or they hit 10 and drive in 50 and they're hurt.
Well, I mean, you look at their guys. Michael Young, they just picked up. He's 36. He'll be 37 later in the year. Jimmy Rollins, 30 plus. Carlos Ruiz, when he comes back, is 30 plus. Utley, 30 plus. Howard, 30 plus.
Well, on the other side of that is when you're winning games and you're tying up players for long-term contracts, you don't anticipate any of that happening. You don't anticipate in the draft saying, oh, I better go get a second baseman, I better go get a first baseman, I better go get this guy, because you think you're set for a while. Ask the New York Yankees. A-Rod got old pretty quick. Derek Jeter, by the way, cleared to start baseball actions here the next couple of days.
1-2. Good block by Torrealba. Yeah, he's actually been cleared to do everything. He's been doing some baseball activities for a while down in Tampa, but he's a full go now. So let's see if the Yankees get him back around the All-Star break. It's a big spot here for Wilton Lopez. Keep it a 2-run cushion in the top of the 7th inning. Dominic Brown at third. Singled, stole second. Moved to third on a fly ball. 2-2. And again, it's fouled off. Ruben Amaro Jr. was asked earlier today with the Phillies at 32 and 35. It's still pretty early. Certainly not out of contention. If they would trade staff ace now Cliff Lee or Cole Hamels, who scuffled by record this year, and he said absolutely not.
Well, I wouldn't either.
So they had no desire to. 3-2. What he said officially, if you look at Cole Hamels, people would like us to improve our club, but at what cost? You have to have replacement pieces if you're going to trade someone like that. We don't have a guy who I consider a closer on our club other than Papelbon. He's the best we've got, one of the best in baseball, if not the best. He addressing obviously also Jonathan Papelbon in that conversation. 3-2 on Mayberry. And that's in the dirt. Ball 4.
Pretty good at bat by Mayberry too. He fouled off a lot of nasty pitches. They just couldn't come up with the final 2 to get him out of there.
Mayberry's attempted 6 stolen bases this year. He's been successful 3 times. He represents the tying run. Freddie Galvis at the plate, who had a 2-run triple in the 6th. Galvis, sharp ground ball past Todd Helton. 1 run will score all the way to the corner. It's going to tie up the game. Here comes Mayberry home, and it's going to be another triple for Galvis. The Rockies had a 7-2 lead, and now it's all even in the 7th.
Looking for the sinker down and away, and it doesn't get there. It stayed leveled out about mid-thigh and shot right by Helton. Helton made a valiant effort trying to get to that baseball. Then it's just off to the races. 4 RBIs and 2 triples for the shortstop that came in, swinging the bat at the rate of .213.
I can almost guarantee you that's a career high in RBIs for Galvis.
Jimmy Rollins, who had battling some injuries with his hip, set out tonight, is not going to set out this at bat with the chance to put his team on top with a runner at third and 2 outs. His numbers against Lopez in his career. Rollins has hit 4 for 6 with a home run.
How many games this year, especially of late, have the Rockies had a significant lead and coughed it up? They had a 6-run lead recently and coughed it up and won. They had a 4-run lead and got caught. And tonight they had a 5-run lead and they've gotten caught. Here's Jimmy Rollins, down low, ball 1.
Still nobody up in the Rockies bullpen.
Well, this is the perennial all-star Jimmy Rollins. And a base hit for Rollins, and now Philadelphia leads 8-7.
Sinker down and away, doesn't do much with it. He just goes out and gets on top of this baseball. Jimmy Rollins getting an opportunity to help his club. Does just that with a line drive to right field. Now Nix, who was out earlier to pinch hit, was brought back. Young hit, had a base hit. Nix will pinch hit. Their #1 pitch hitter this year. 7 for 28, a couple of home runs, and 5 RBIs on the season. Will pinch hit for Charlie.
Lopez has faced 4 batters. The fly ball to deep center, a walk, 2-run triple, and the RBI base hit by Rollins. 2 walks in this game in the last 2 innings. They've come around to score against the Rockies. Toward the middle of the diamond, Rutledge diving stop. Safe at second. Infield hit for Lance Nix. Rutledge was swung over in the hole, and he's slow to get up.
Yeah, I didn't know if he was going to get to that ball. I'll tell you what, I thought that ball had eyes, was going all the way through the middle. Powerful swing. Ball hit on the ground. Rutt tried to get to it, and then a strong throw over to Johnny Herrera, just offline a little bit. Well, I tell you, see it right there on the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo that Rutledge laid it out flat to the ground. Not sure they'd have got him. That would have been close. Rob Scahill is up throwing again, and indicating by the phone call from Bo down to the dugout that he's ready.
And Walt Weiss will bring in Scahill. Philadelphia with 3 in the 6th, and they have 3 more here in the 7th. The Rockies were enjoying the evening a little while ago. They aren't anymore. Down 8-7. 7th inning. Rob Scahill on, trying to get that final out. It's become elusive.
Rob Scahill comes into the ball game, making his 10th appearance for the Rockies this season. 5.14 earned run average, a whip of 1.07. So he's had a couple of big innings balloon his ERA. So now he'll have to go right after it and try to shut this thing down and give the Rockies a chance. Down 8-7 here in the top of the 7th. First 20,000 fans through the gates on Saturday, June 15th, will receive a Road to Rushmore poster courtesy of Rapid City. Get your tickets for this ball game against the Phillies today. So you can go to Power. Tickets are available also here. Rockies.com/specials to be one of those first 20,000 through the gates.
Ben Revere, an infield hit in the 6th inning. He's 1 for 4. 8th man to appear here in the 7th for Philadelphia. Again, the Rockies 2 innings ago led 7-2. Juan Nicasio had trouble in the 6th inning. Outman got the final out of the 6th inning. Nicasio would give up 3 last inning, and now Lopez, who's had a rough season by and large, is given way to Rob Scahill.
Now, Rob wanted to make sure he sees these signals okay behind home plate. First fastball 95 for strike 1.
And a ground ball to second. In the inning, 3 runs for Philadelphia, and they've taken an 8-7 lead. The Rockies love the middle of their order when we come back. For the Rockies in the bottom of the 7th. Rockies have blown a 5-run lead in this ball game. Time for our Coors Light Freeze Cam. Cargo, first time up, squared up the baseball to dead center field. His 19th home run of the year. He's tied Dominic Brown of the Phils for the National League lead in home runs. That's brought to you by Frost Food Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Steven LaRue is now behind home plate as Quintero was pinch hit for by Jimmy Rollins. And the new pitcher is left-hander Jake Diekman. 2 lefties do this inning for the Rockies. Cargo and Hilt Kadai are sandwiched in between. And a line drive to left. Cargo's third hit of the ball game. He also has a walk, so he's had a perfect evening, and the tying runs aboard. Somebody go kick him in the ankle again, huh?
Yeah, 2 or 3 times. Charlie, when he continue with the left-hander on the mound, Diekman, because I think you got Kadire, then Helton. You've got a right-hander warming up down in the bullpen. The Freitas is trying to get loose down there as quick as he can. Matt Belisle doing the same for the Rockies in their bullpen.
Cuddy tonight, a base hit in the 5th to extend his hitting streak to 12 games. Longest for a Rocky this year. Michael's got 20 ribbies in his last 22 games. Longest hitting streaks in the National League. Ian Desmond, who was just here, has got a 15-gamer. And Kadire slices that one foul. It's 1-2. Earlier tonight, the Giants in Atlanta shut out the Braves behind Madison Bumgarner 6-0. Rockies began the day in a tie with the Giants, 2.5 games behind Arizona. And the Diamondbacks are currently leading 1-0 in the 4th inning in San Diego. Dodgers lost in Pittsburgh 3-0 tonight. That's slowly hit the second, bobbled for a moment, and out at first base. If the Rockies get Gonzalez to second on the fielder's choice, and that'll bring up Todd. Who wants tacos? Fans, if you'd like to receive text message alerts when the Rockies score 7 or more for the Rockies Taco Special, text the keyword taco to 720-720. When the Rockies do score 7 or more, Taco Bell and Root Sports will donate $250 to the Colorado I Have a Dream Foundation. Todd 1 for 3. Last time up, he had a drive to deep center. His base hit came in the 2nd to right. And this ball is fair. 2 outs. Cargo to 3rd. That'll bring up Arenado at an RBI hit in the 5th. He's 1 for 3.
Just looking at Charlie Manuel to see if maybe he was thinking about making a move here with the right-hander going in the bullpen, and he's going to.
Charlie will take the baseball from Jake Diekman. 2 outs. Cargo at 3rd. Nolan Arenado coming to the plate when we come back. with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. The Rockies have the tying run at third. What's next is brought to you by CenturyLink. Tyler Chatwood, after having his start pushed back, will take the baseball for the 7th time this year. He's been terrific thus far. Jonathan Pettibone will be on the hill for Philadelphia. The similar type guy to the fellow the Rockies face tonight in Kyle Kendrick.
Justin DeFreitas will come into this ball game 2-0, very fine earned run average. And he'll face Nolan Arenado. Against left-handers this year, Arenado 269, right-handers 259. DeFreitas has held opponents to a 158 average. We'll start out with that slider at 82 miles an hour.
Strike on Arenado. And this is gloved by the pitcher DeFreitas, and the Rockies do not score in the 7th. They leave Gonzalez at third. Phillies leading 8-7.
Dippin' Dots. That's what you do at the ballpark. You come to eat sometimes. And on a Friday, send all your questions to us at @RootSports_RM. In fact, we'll tie the food and the questions together. This one comes from Cody. He said, I'm a Rangers fan. Well, we'll forgive you that. There's plenty of purple you can buy at the ballpark. He's coming to the Rockies game tomorrow. Wants to know what he should eat at Coors Field. I'm pretty sure that you should eat everything. I like that choice. Helton Burger's a great choice. There are gluten-free options in the park, which I appreciate. And I'm going to throw this one out there, George, and I'll let you guys answer. I'm saying George because we know how George likes to eat. Tornadoes. You know, they're the long,
well,
doughy
now, wait a minute. We need to talk about that.
Why?
Yeah, those are pretty good. Famous Dave's good. But the tornadoes with the, what do you call that, the cinnamon sugar all over it?
Oh, they're delicious. They are to die for. And really quick before I get it back to you guys, I ran into Dexter Fowler's dad last week. His parents were in town from Atlanta. And Mr. Fowler said, what were those things you guys were eating? Well, you guys are always eating on the show. So he goes, I had to get out here and try some of that food you have. And you two are always eating. So I think you're best to answer this question. Well, when they bring it to you, you don't throw it away. No, you don't.
Do you?
No, so maybe point Cody in the right direction. I'm just saying.
Right? I mean, they brought us pudding tonight. Did we throw it away? No, we shared, actually. Yeah.
We actually shared with our friends from the Philadelphia side
right.
here.
Well, I didn't share. He just took it.
That's a base hit for Michael Young, leading off here in the 8th inning against Rob Scahill. Rockies have now been out hit 13-11. Dominic Brown, a single and a run scored last inning. Brown set a major league record, George. Did you know this in May? You did know it?
A lot of home runs.
It's not the record.
Well, I thought it was. Doug lied to me again.
He had 12 home runs in May. He became the first player in big league history to have at least 10 home runs in a calendar month without a walk. He did not walk in the month of May.
So what you're telling me, the home runs were part of the record?
They were. He didn't set a record for home runs, but can you imagine? He's hitting home runs left and right. He's the player of the month in the National League in May. He was the player of the week twice.
First time in Phillies history. Think of the dudes that have played in Phillies organization. He's the first to have back-to-back weeks.
Right, and nobody walked him. Nobody said, you know what, I'm not dealing with you right now. You're too high.
Didn't have enough history, body of work to scare people yet. Does now.
2-strike count on Brown. Lifted to deep right field, and Kadire is going to have it play. 1 out. Ryan Howard. Howard 0 for 2 and a pair of walks tonight. To help. Here's one on the first. Double play.
Scahill, a very good athlete, played in the middle infield in college before going strictly pitching. Got there, set his feet, turned that double play, made it look easy.
3-6-1 on the turn. Rockies in the bottom of the 8th will come up down by a run, 8-7.
this ball game. I want to remind everybody, celebrate Father's Day on Sunday and get to the ballpark early, as the first 20,000 fans are going to receive the 20th anniversary Walt Weiss bobblehead, courtesy of Remax. So get your tickets for that ball game today against Philadelphia, as you will see and receive, if you're one of the first 20,000, a Walt Weiss bobblehead. Well, coming into the ball game for the Philadelphia Phillies, their setup man, making his 26th appearance this year, Mike Adams, who came over from the Texas Rangers from a year ago. 6 holes, an earned run average of around 4, a 1-4 overall record, a whip at 1.34. Nasty slider. The Rockies remember him from his days in San Diego. But a good slider, hard sinker, but mostly it's the slider he will try to utilize. He'll get Tyler Coleman to start things off here in the 8th. By the way,
he's been prone to giving up the home run this year. He's given up 5 in 24 innings.
Interesting note, that double play Todd Helton pulled, 1,962 double plays he's been involved in. Think about what I said, folks. 1,962 double plays. That's third all time behind Mickey Vernon with 2,044 and Eddie Murray with 2,034. Good note, Dougie.
That's amazing. Third all time. 1 strike on Colvin. 1 for 2 and a walk tonight.
Okay.
Splitter almost. Good changeup. Active ERA leaders: Mariano Rivera, Sergio Romo, Papelbon, who will throw the 9th inning unless the Rockies rally here, and Mike Adams, 4th.
Joe Nathan, another closer in Texas.
One out. That'll bring up Torey Alba. Rockies got a run in the first, 2 in the second, 3 in the fourth. They got a run in the 5th. They scored in 4 different frames. 7 runs, 11 hits. But that's not enough right now. They're trailing 8-7 after giving up 6 in the 6th and 7th inning. Ocasio has pitched a pretty good baseball until he arrived at the 6th inning, but that unfortunately has been a pattern for him. Torey Alba lays down a bunt. It's going to go foul. I like the idea.
Think about this too. Torey Alba in Texas for a while. Adams in Texas. Is he a good fielding pitcher? Can he get off the mound and field the bunt? Because when he bunted the ball, Adams didn't even move. Brothers at Belial warming up down there, meaning Matty will probably come on to throw the 9th if the Rockies stay down 1. The other way around, it'll be Mr. Brothers.
Rosario's come out on deck. Two and one on your V. Single, double, and a walk tonight for Torey Alba. 3-1, a called strike, 3-2.
Pretty typical reaction when a batter of the home team walks across the plate. I think I would agree with him. There's been a couple of instances tonight that they've called the low strike. Mike Malinsky has called it on Young. Now he called it here on Torrealba.
Fair ball to third baseman Michael Young, 2 outs.
Guarding the line like that late in the ball game. Smart move by their part. And a slider, he just picks it off and makes the play.
Willeen Rosario is going to pinch hit here in the 8th inning. 2 outs, nobody on. Rockies down by a run. If you have auto glass issues, call Safelite Auto Glass at 303-287-5000 or go to safelite.com. Willeen Rosario's seen his average dip to 239. He's 3 for his last 31 at the plate. And a base hit up the middle.
He was out early today with Dante and Yorvik Torrealba and Nolan Arenado hitting about 130 on the field right after the Phillies got done, and was working on staying back up the middle, which he does in batting practice really well. So now it's nice to see a ball away from him. He didn't try to jump on it quick and try to hit it out to left and have a weak ground ball. Good job of hitting there.
And Rosario will be removed for Dexter Fowler. Dexter can't swing the bat, and he can't play defense right now with his finger, but he can run. Here's why he's not in the lineup tonight. Squared around a bunt. He got plucked. The finger, which is bandaged up, was not fractured. Josh Rutledge at the plate, a 2-run home run in the 4th inning tonight. That was when the Rockies were cruising. Looked like they were going to have a go-away, easy type of victory. Runaway, easy type of victory. They were up 7-2 at one juncture. Now trailing 8-7. Rutledge just back to the big leagues today from Colorado Springs when Troy Tulowitzki was placed on the DL. And 6-5 Adams goes to first again.
The running game typically is taken care of by the opposing manager on what they want to do, and sometimes the pitching coach gets involved. It's the 4th game LaRue's been in the ball game to catch, so there's no attempts against him as far as the catcher concerned. That ball's inside on Rutledge.
Mike Adams came up with Milwaukee on to San Diego. Texas, as George mentioned, signed a 2-year, $12 million deal to pitch for the Phillies as their 8th inning guy. There goes Dex, and the throw by LaRue, not going to get it. That's a big stolen base right there. It gives the Rockies an opportunity here with 2 outs to get even. That's his 12th stolen base. He's been caught just twice.
Big jump at first, higher leg kick. And Dexter just sliding, and you can see the ball caught there. But make sure he held on to it. And before applying the tag, Franston was hanging on to that baseball to make sure it didn't get kicked out away from him.
And George LaRue got a good pitch to throw with.
Got a pitch on the inner half, which is what you like to get, and a little bit elevated.
Rutledge in the air to right field, and Mayberry should have an easy play. He'll make the catch, and Fowler's left at second base. We go to the 9th inning, 8-7 Philadelphia. Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. And by Ram Trucks, Guts, Glory, Ram. Lower downtown Denver, Philadelphia's overcome a 5-run deficit. They have an 8-7 lead as we go to the 9th inning in center field. Joel Klatt. Joel?
That's right. We'll have the Toyota postgame show and a guy back in the big leagues. Big home run for Josh Rutledge. We'll discuss that. Plus, this might not be the greatest tease in the world, Drew, but it is just a tribute. Kind of like Carlos Gonzalez with that wristband, a tribute to his Brozif, Troy Tulowitzki. So we'll have all of that, much more coming up on the Toyota postgame show. And that was just a shout out to all my Tenacious D fans. So you're welcome.
I agree. I mean, yeah, shout out to whoever you want to, right? I pretty much
guarantee you that neither of you have heard the band Tenacious D, but that's all right. That's all right.
Say that again. What was the name of it?
Tenacious D with Jack Black.
Well, you know, I thought at times last year, I have heard, because I thought at times last year the Broncos did play Tenacious D.
They did.
Just so you know, Jack Black was on American Pickers and traded a photo booth for this record player.
Did he really?
Yes.
He's a funny guy.
And he bought an elephant head for $12,500.
Well, he's a funny guy.
Have you heard of Frazier's favorite band, the Andrews Sisters?
No, I have not.
Hey, I am a fan of the Andrews Sisters, but my favorite band, Willie Nelson, probably. Well, Waylon Jennings, Merle Haggard. And Dougie's favorite band
now it's time for a little Matt Belisle.
I got to remember.
And Matt's first pitch was not offered at by Kevin Franston, so it's ball one. Franston, Mayberry, Freddie Galvis in the 9th inning. The Rockies trailed by a run on the scoreboard.
Yesterday, Matt Belisle did not pitch well. He walked 2, gave up 3 hits, a couple of runs, and he said it was kind of one of those days. Just didn't feel right anywhere. And he said it's a matter of getting the ball and going right back out again. A bullpen, to me, is only as good as your manager and the confidence he gives back to you when you do fail. Getting you right back out on the field the very next day like they have with Matt Belisle. And I think the farther and the length that Matt has worked out of a bullpen now since 2009, he's gained trust in his stuff, knowing there will be days like yesterday. And the only way to correct that is to get in a game today.
Belisle will get the first out. And that'll bring up John Mayberry. Outside ball one on Mayberry.
Cutting fastball, 91 miles an hour out of the hand of Matt Block. And with Matt, when he does have bad days, it's typically when he walks somebody and he doesn't have the impeccable command, because he and Betancourt both have very good command. Hard slider. Positioned out on that outside corner and just dove off the plate. Very good depth to the pitch.
Well, Matt was really excited 3 days ago, George, because he said, I got my throwing partner back.
No, that's true. I mean, you know, he and Betancourt throw every single day together.
Raphael's been on the DL with the groin injury. Talked to him earlier. It's getting much better. And he's out throwing with his partner again. Probably won't be till the end of the month at best that we see Betancourt active again. Jonathan Papelbon, former Red Sox closer. He's had some forgettable history in this ballpark. Remember when Giambi took him deep when he was with Boston?
Wow.
That was close. 2-2.
So close. How do you take it? Only thing you come up with, probably so nasty, you say, oh, I can't hit it, so I swing it. Hope it's called a ball.
Center field. 2 outs. Rockies will have 2, 3, and 4 in their order. Johnny Herrera, Carlos Gonzalez, Michael Kadire in the 9th inning. Cargo's had a big night, 3 for 3 and a walk, including a home run. Very artistic work by our group of fine cameramen. There was a hat out center field that, George, we were going to show you that somebody wanted to barter with. It's actually Brian Peters.
Did Brian have it? Okay. I think a lot of action in the 7th and 8th inning kind of took away from the hat hunt.
Yeah.
There's
one,
my hat.
There's one Brian's wearing.
Banana pudding. He's in.
Anything food related? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. And he is too.
I was just going to offer Brian a 45-pound plate.
A food or weight?
It's a weight. Brian eats and lifts. One and 2 on Freddie Galvis. Galvis with 2 two-run triples in the game. Last Philly to do that and produce 4 RBIs was Mickey Morandini in 1993. It's only the 7th time ever that Phillies had 2 triples to drive in 2 runs twice in a game. Dick Allen did it. Ruben Amaro Sr. did it. His kid's now the GM. One, 2. Now you look at Jimmy Rollins, normally the everyday shortstop, the perennial all-star, George. He pinch hit and drove in a run. Galvis giving him a day off, driven in 4.
So you're saying all the guys that play shortstop swung it bat well today?
Yes,
5 ribbies.
Yes, sir.
5 of the 8.
I don't know how to describe that swing.
Safety.
That was beyond defensive. The biggest deficit the Phillies have overcome so far this year is just 2 runs. And again tonight they've overcome a 5-run deficit. Arenado comes up with it. And Helton stayed on the bag. Galvis is out. So we'll go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Herrera to lead off. Cargo will bat second, then Kadire. 8-7 Philadelphia. The Rockies play the Phillies on Sunday. Stick around for Rockies Weekly. We'll pay tribute to the movie Bull Durham. It's the 25-year anniversary of the release of Bull Durham. Discuss Tyler Colvin's return to the big leagues and recap the highlights from the week. Don't miss Rockies Weekly. That's Sunday after the game. So here we go, bottom of the 9th inning. The Phillies with an 8-7 lead. Johnny Herrera will try to reach for Carlos Gonzalez, and they'll have to face a guy who's been perfect this year in Jonathan Papelbon. 12 for 12 in save opportunities. 269 since 2006.
Pretty good names on there too. Mariano Rivera, Francisco Rodriguez, Joe Nathan. 7 straight 30-plus save seasons. Papelbon, but the one ballpark he'd like to not pitch at, Coors Field. He's 1-1 with 1 save out of 3 save opportunities. He has 11.25 earned run average, 5 earned runs in 4 innings pitched, covering 3 games. In his career versus the Rockies, he's 4-1 with 5 saves, or excuse me, 3 saves and 5 save opportunities. Career versus Colorado last year against Colorado while winning this uniform, he did a pretty good job. 3-0, 2 saves, 159 earned run average. So a lot of the history. It's been a while back. Johnny Herrera will take a shot at him right now. Those last 3 outs, the toughest in baseball to get. He's got tough 3 outs right now with Johnny and Gonzalez and Kadire.
Michael Young on the edge of the grass at third. Howard stepped behind the bag at first. Hard throwing Jonathan Papelbon, and that fastball inside at 92. Papelbon does not typically walk people. He's given up just 13 hits and allowed just 4 walks this year. One and one. His issue, if there are any issues, he's 12 for 12, is that his work as a closer has been sporadic because the Phillies are under 500 right now.
Hard to get those work in every 3 days, because as a manager you're thinking tomorrow may be the day I need him for that save opportunity. And it seems like every time you have a guy go out just to get an inning of work when he's the closer.
Off the bag, nope. Ryan Howard kept big toe on the bag, 1 out.
He worked that 1 inning, he ended up throwing about 35 pitches. That long stretch, Howard, see that, look at his left foot stay on the bag, and it does. As things slide forward, it's after he's already been on it, but he stayed on it anyway. Gonzalez 1 for 2 in his career versus Papelbon.
Cargo tonight, a solo home run in the first, his 19th, which ties Dominic Brown for the league lead. Single in the third, walked and scored in the fifth, singled in the seventh, and would get to third base. But the Rockies couldn't bring him home to tie the game. Outfield backs way up. Here's his night visually. This ball was just crushed to center field, a line shot. Base hit to right, base hit to left. Back live, a 1-0 count. And it's 2-0. Kevin Franson, the second baseman, is playing like a short fielder. He's way out on the grass.
Expand your ability to get to baseballs by playing in that type of position. Ryan Howard's hugging that line. He's not going to give up anything either. No doubles. I'll give you a single.
2-0. Cargo rips another base hit. So the Rockies have the tying run on. Cargo's 4 for 4. He's reached 5 times. And here comes Michael Kadire.
Trying to eliminate a little bit of that power, and he seems trying to sink that ball down and away, but Cargo got out front, caught it before the sink happened, and shot this ball on a line. And if it's a little bit elevated, maybe that chance to get up into the seats, but here he did a just nice job of driving the baseball. Kadire looking for his first hit against Papelbon and 8 at bats.
There goes Cargo, got a huge jump, throw to second, won't get it. And that's the thing we often point out, George, about closers, and you were a setup guy. Guys that pitch on the plus side, they're focused on what's 60 feet 6 inches away, and they don't slide step frequently.
No, they never slide step. It's a high, long leg kick, and you get that type of a break, you just go. Because most closers have the ability to strike you out. They're power guys. So that's all they're thinking about is what's sitting right in front of them at 60 feet 6 inches.
But now you have to shorten up the outfield. Philadelphia wants a shot at Gonzalez if Kadire gets a base hit. 1 out. Michael stays off that. It's 1-1. Check it with Wally Bell. No swing. Elton on deck. They're all great to win. This would go under the category of devastating loss. Up 5 runs. Kadire trying to make sure that doesn't happen. Way outside. It's 2-1. Thirty-two-year-old Jonathan Papelbon, born in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Here's the 2-1. And he had Kadire way out front. It's 2-2.
And you've got to remember, too, LaRute is not somebody that has caught Papelbon a lot. So the veteran Quintero is in the dugout. So said now it all comes back on you as a pitcher to make sure you call what you want. And on the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo, you saw a very good slider with that pitch.
In 3-2. Kadire, the most history of anybody with Papelbon from their days in the American League. He's due. He's 0 for 8.
You'd almost wonder here, too, if he'd go to that slider. Most closers have confidence in 2 pitches at any time and any count.
3-2. Got him with a vicious slider. That was well located. 2 outs. And now it'll be up to Help.
Well, this is what you're talking about with good closers. They not only have a fastball that's a power pitch, but they also have the slider. And he obviously showed it there to Kadire. You got the veteran in Help, and then you've got Arenado. So when they go at Todd Help, most closers, it doesn't bother them to set up like that. I mean, they'll go right at their guys in different ways.
Well, you know, the theory is, or thought
obviously,
is, you can't put the winning run on.
But if you're confident enough against the youngster, you know, then that's something that you look at times. We'll see how he handles Help. Most closers, it doesn't bother them for that situation at all.
Well, got a pitch to hit, and he fouled it off. Fastball up in the zone.
Hardest throwing fastball at 93.
Cargo the tying run at second. Single and a stolen base. 1-1. Papelbon still throws in the low 90s consistently, but back a few years ago at Boston, he'd sit on 95, 96.
A lot of games, a lot of times coming out of that bullpen, a lot of warming up. See Ryan Sandberg right next to Charlie Manuel.
1-2.
Split finger, another part of the arsenal, but most closers are going to use that split only against left-handers. They're not comfortable using it against right-handers.
One and two in the bottom of the ninth with Gonzalez at second. As we go back to the split, he was flashed twice in that sequence. No, he went fastball. And it's 2-2. Nope, this year, good numbers with runners in scoring position, a .310 average. Tried a single and a run scored back in the second. Two on the ground, slowly to short. Galvis with time, and the Philadelphia Phillies have come from 5 down to beat the Rockies, and that's the Rockies' third straight loss, and that is another punch in the gut loss. Up 7-2, the Rockies lose 8-7 tonight. Stutz gets the win. He's 2-0. Wilton Lopez takes the loss. He's 1-3. Papelbon has 13 save and 13 opportunities. And the Phillies' mastery over the Rockies continues. They've won 6 straight against Colorado, and they've won 27 of 33 dating back to the start of 2008 in the regular season. Tonight's Jimmy John's Freaky Fast Delivery. The game is brought to you by Jimmy John's. Freddie Galvis getting a start at shortstop for Jimmy Rollins, and he made the most of it. This was the first of 2 triples. That one drove in 2, and then this one would tie up the game at 7. Galvis would score a moment later when the guy he replaced in the lineup, Jimmy Rollins, would have a pinch hit single. Visit JimmyJohns.com to find a location near you. Very disappointing loss for the Rockies tonight at Coors Field, 8-7. The Toyota postgame show is next.